One of my favorite places to be here at the Northeast Georgia History Center is in our White Path cabin doing historical interpretation. It is also the centerpiece of many of our programs. It's really the centerpiece of our building and our exhibits, as the White Path cabin was moved here before the History Center was even built. And you can really tell because the History Center is essentially built around the cabin. It's the backdrop of our amphitheater and the centerpiece of so many of our programs and our programming and exhibits. I personally love the story of the White Path cabin because it shows the complexity and the layers of history throughout Northeast Georgia, from the Cherokee, whose traditional homelands we are on, to the Trail of Tears, as White Path, who built this cabin, was forcibly removed from his home and his homelands and ended up perishing on that terrible trail. It then shows homesteaders who came in, like the Pinson family, and they came here and they had on average, a farm would have been about 100 acres, and they probably would have farmed corn. And we're trying to do even more research to learn about some of the people who inhabited this house, such as the Pinson family and White Path. And then the Pinson family, they lived here, of course, from about 1840s all the way to the end of the 1800s, up into the early 1900s. Where they then rented out the cabin in the 30s and the 40s to different, one family, I do believe, or maybe two. We're trying to do more research to learn more about some of the people in this cabin, as of course we already have a very good outline and general idea of who it was, but we always want to try to learn more and to dig deeper into the stories that we have here at the History Center. The cabin itself has undergone many different phases. When White Path lived there, it was just one room. We then believe that when the Pinson family ended up with the land and the cabin, that they built the hallway and the second room and extended the loft and increased the peak, which then made it into a dog trot style cabin, a very typical style of vernacular architecture here in Northeast Georgia. Of course, we have the Cooley family to thank for helping restore this cabin, as it was in terrible disrepair when they found it, and then they were able to redo it. They are descendants of White Path, so it is this really wonderful full circle story of it coming back into the hands of the descendant who originally built it. And we absolutely love the White Path cabin. Like I said, it's the centerpiece of so many of our programs and exhibits, but of course, the cabin does need help. It takes a lot to keep this almost 300-year-old cabin in tip-top shape for our visitors and for our programming.
And one of the things, just to jump in, is recently I had a chance to talk with Count Cooley, who has helped us out quite a bit with the cabin, and his family had it. And he was telling me about how, as the cabin was being restored and brought back, that his family traditions used to be having Thanksgiving at the cabin, that they would bring everything in, they would cook everything over the fires, they would use the old cast iron implements, and they would sit down and they would have that. So it's an interesting thing that, you don't have too many of these cabins around, one, and then two, having one that's been used up fairly recently that was still used for family gatherings and family functions such as a Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't hear if he and his family, brothers and such, went out and shot birds the day of Thanksgiving. I imagine somebody probably got store-bought or something, brought it in. Avoid chomping down on some buckshot or whatnot. But yeah, it's interesting because you can see the different phases in how some of it's been modernized for sure, but that's also, to your point, that's one of the things about Northeast Georgia, is seeing the changes that have come in and the upgrades. When people had a little bit of money, what they invest in, make living spaces a little bit more comfortable, make things a little bit more pleasant for those staying in those homes.
Mm-hmm. And we also appreciate that it has electricity, especially on cold days and rainy days, and days even when we have fun events at the museum, such as the night at the museum where all of our exhibits came to life. And because we have electricity, we were able to still have light outside in the cabin. Our exhibits are incredibly wonderful and again are truly the centerpiece that we have here at the History Center. And we love it when we are able to bring these buildings, these exhibits to life. Another one of our buildings is the Hoyt Heron Blacksmith Shop, which my husband is very excited when I got this job because he had also been trained at a blacksmith at another living history museum in Huntsville, Alabama called Bird on the Mountain. And now we are able, he's able to use his skills and his knowledge to bring the forge to life, to keep the tradition of blacksmithing going, and also to remember the story of Hoyt Heron, who built this blacksmith shop and converted it, and this log cabin was not always originally a blacksmith shop. It was actually Hoyt Heron who decided to convert it into this to make it a living history piece and to share the tradition of blacksmithing, which has an incredibly long history in Northeast Georgia, with the general public. Here you can see one of my favorite things is, of course, we try to make everything as hands-on as we can, but it's very hard to safely make blacksmithing a hands-on activity. But we still did find a way around that as we employ some young apprentices, whoever would like to, can help turn in the 1800s it would have been the bellows, but here we have air motor, I guess is not the correct term, but gets the general idea across. The actual name will come to me when I'm off camera. But they are able to help turn the air and help keep the fire going. Of course, the kids, when they jump on it, they want to go as fast as possible, and they make the fire jump and it's roaring. And Stephen always says, like that's good that you're enthusiastic and all, but really, what you want to do is have it a slow, consistent temperature. It doesn't matter how fast you do it, it matters how consistent you are with it to keep the heat at an even temperature. So they're of course very safe. They are far behind the safety rail there, but it is one of our favorite things that we have for our living history programs, for our field trips, and it's just one of again, our favorite exhibit pieces, really. It's one of our largest, probably our second largest artifact, the White Path Cabin being the first, Hoyt Heron Blacksmith Shop being the second. And of course, then we have all of our indoor exhibits as well, which we have a wonderful video to show you now. I love that video of our wonderful exhibits, and it's so interesting because I think that's one of the first ones Guana made a couple years ago, and just looking at it now, we were talking about how much they've changed since Leslie has taken over as our Director of Archives and Curation. So you will not actually, if you come to the History Center, you'll see a lot of our favorite objects, but there's also so many more updates that have been done thanks to Leslie. The schoolhouse has been redone, and there's so many more objects in there that people can get to go see. Of course, there's our rotating gallery has been featuring so many different themes of N.C. White's photographs, and we still have not seen all of them.
Right. Well, and to what you're saying, Leslie's done a great job of trying to refresh the exhibits and refresh how they're presented. We've got so much in our archives and so much history that we want to share with everybody. Finding little ways to bring things up from our downstairs is just one of the many challenges that Leslie's taken on and doing a great job of showing those and bringing those out for view.
So of course, if you haven't been to the History Center in a little bit and you think, oh, well, I've seen it all, no, you haven't. No, you have not. If you have not come recently, you haven't gone to come and see the wonderful updates to our exhibits. Also, I think one of the wonderful things is Leslie has, of course, redone so much. The walls have been painted, barriers have come down to where you can get to see the objects even better in this way and have more space to be able to appreciate the objects. It's truly, absolutely wonderful, everything that has gone on. So please come back to the History Center if you haven't been in a while, because you're going to get to see something new and something fresh and exciting, and we can only continue to do this with your help. So we really appreciate everyone who continues to donate, especially to our exhibits and also to our archives. We actually have, as I was just talking about the schoolhouse update, we actually have a video to show you some of the updates that have been done.
Hello everyone, my name is Leslie Jones and I'm the Collections and Archives Manager at the Northeast Georgia History Center. Recently, I also became the curator for the History Center. After going through the permanent exhibits with staff, interns, and school groups, I realized that our schoolhouse needed a little bit of renovation. We won't be going over every artifact we have in the exhibit today, but I do want to share some interesting pieces that are currently on display. This dress was specifically made to be the uniform while attending Brenau University. Each student was required to wear a white dress to class. This was in the schoolhouse before the remodel, but the new addition is the mirror. Now visitors can see what could not be seen before, the back of this amazing dress. See how the hooks and eyes were put in place around the floral pattern? Fun fact, there are 51 hooks and eyes on this dress, and it's completely handmade. This garment was given to us by the Brenau Archives, and I think it's one of my favorite pieces in the exhibit. Founded in 1878, the Georgia Baptist Female Seminary was made for women who wanted a higher education. In 1900, a psychologist by the name of Dr. H. J. Pierce purchased the school and changed the name to Brenau College. Today, now known as Brenau University, has been ranked one of the most diverse campuses in the country, and it also is open to male students. For those who don't know, we are located on Brenau campus, and we are proud to be part of such an amazing university. Here is a new addition to the exhibit, a desk from the Candler Street School in Gainesville. We do not have any information on who donated this as well, so if you know, please reach out to us. Candler Street School was built in 1910 by H.H. Dean as a way to give education to students that lived on Green Street and the various streets connected to it. I imagine the walk from Green Street all the way to Main Street School had to be tiresome for kids, especially the students that were small enough to fit in these little desks. Today, the building houses the Bates Carter accounting firm. And if you look on top of the desk, the very first yearbook published by Gainesville High School is on top. Another thing I wanted to do in the schoolhouse is show diversity within Gainesville. Some of the additions include photographs of Fair Street School, a yearbook from E.E. Butler High School, and here, in the very first part of the exhibit as you walk in, is an amazing photograph of Beulah Rucker's Industrial School in 1955. These students were in the 8th grade class, and if you look closely, there are 10 girls and only one boy. In 1911, Beulah Rucker built a school that was also a boarding house for her students. Beulah wanted black children to have just as much education and guidance as white children. I think something I love most about Beulah Rucker is her tenacity and strength to get the school built, running, and stay afloat for decades. A very big thank you to the Hall County Library System for letting us use this photograph for our exhibit. In 1955, Beulah wrote a short but very insightful book on her life and the journey it took to teaching education during segregation. If you'd like to read her book, we do have copies in the gift shop available for when you come see the schoolhouse for yourself. I would highly recommend visiting the Beulah Rucker Museum that is down the road and learn more about this incredible woman. During the remodel of the schoolhouse, we decided together as a staff that the University of Georgia should be added to the exhibit. I think a true favorite of ours is Uga, the mascot of UGA. Our very own UGA graduate and Director of Education, Marie Bartlett, donated little Uga to the exhibit, and we're so happy he's here. The bulldog we have today comes from a very specific Uga line. In 1956, Uga 1 was brought to a UGA game as a wedding present to a fan attending that specific home game. The coach asked if they would bring the bulldog back for the next game, and the UGA mascot was born. Today, the line of Ugas is on its 11th dog in the family line. His name is Boom, and he just started the job in April of 2023. Just looking at this sweet little face, we know he's a good boy who will watch over the schoolhouse for us. Another stuffed plush we have here in the schoolhouse is Big Red. This item was in our archives, and he just needed to be seen by all the visitors. Since 1935, Big Red has been the mascot of Gainesville High School, although it's unclear how it came to be. According to an article from the Gainesville Times, the legend goes that the school had yet to pick a nickname for their team. A sports writer who came to the game said that the players looked like a thundering herd of red elephants. Former editor and columnist for the Times, Johnny Vardaman, says there is no conclusive evidence of this to be the exact origin. We do not know who donated Big Red to the History Center, so if it's you or someone you know, please contact us so we can thank you properly. And that, in short, is an introduction to the schoolhouse and the history of education in Northeast Georgia. I want to thank the Gainesville Times for their articles on the origins of Big Red and for the history of Candler Street School. Again, my name is Leslie Jones, and if you have anything you want to donate to the museum towards our schoolhouse, please contact me. We would love to show more if we can. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.
All right, I got to tell you, that desk should not be in a museum, because I know for a fact I was using those desks all through elementary school on up into high school even. And so that's recent history, that desk. Yeah.
Just like our MacBook.
Yeah, just like the MacBook 2 or the Apple II computer down there.
Yeah.
So that was, of course, a highlight on our permanent exhibits called Land of Promise, which take you through the history of Northeast Georgia, all the way from its indigenous population tens of thousands of years ago, all the way through the formation of Lake Lanier. Then we have our special exhibits and our folk art exhibit, which are located in a separate gallery. I think one of my favorite temporary exhibits that we've had this year is a focus on fashion from the NC White collection, and we have a video to show you. So that is just a little peek at one of our special exhibits, and it was in conjunction with the NC White exhibit and collection that we have here at the History Center, which is just absolutely an incredible collection that, of course, we need help preserving and processing. So if you are interested in donating it towards that, you most definitely can. You can also help us by becoming a member. And if you're interested in winning a membership, we have a raffle going on right now. So, of course, individual raffle tickets are $7 per ticket. The winner will be announced via email on Tuesday, December 19th. That is tomorrow. With this, if you are the lucky winner of this raffle, you will receive a family level membership to the Northeast Georgia History Center, which includes free admission to the museum exhibits and galleries anytime we are open, free admission to forum lecture series events which happen on the second Tuesday of every month. You also will get early access to From the Archives monthly video series, invitation to our annual members social. You will get free or discounted admission to special events, of course, as well, which we have so many coming up for our 20th anniversary in 2024.
Yeah, you got the fashion show that's coming up, and the last couple of years, that fashion show has just been growing and growing and growing.
It has.
I don't want to say that I was too sexy for my shirt in one of the first ones, but the video evidence doesn't lie about that. It just doesn't. But
that's one of your first times that you ever volunteered at
that
the History
was
Center.
that was.
Yeah.
I was I think a gentleman farmer.
Yes.
Top hat and tails and all that kind of stuff. But that fashion show program for a chance with that raffle ticket and stuff, it's a steal. I mean, for what you're going to see, what you're going to experience, just a fun day of being around people that enjoy the program as much as you do. Come on, buy a couple of tickets, take a chance, and look forward to seeing you at the raffle or at the fashion show. And trust me, I'm not going to be modeling.
Not this year.
Not this year. Although I think it's going to be 20th century, right?
Yeah. So.
So 20th century is kind of in my wheelhouse.
Yes. So we're looking for volunteers, and I keep telling people, this one is, you have a good chance to volunteer for this one, because if you just have something from the 80s in your closet, you could qualify to be a model at our historic fashion show.
I got parachute pants and zipper jacket.
I'm
ready to go.
Yes. So of course we want to see you there. You can also enter a raffle to win your own fashion program for up to 10 guests. Which it can be highly customizable for you and your family. So you can, you're not limited to any one time period. Whatever ones that I know, which is most of them, I am happy to talk about. So, and then I believe, do we have one last raffle?
Yes, we have
yes.
a guided tour. You can go ahead and tell them about that.
The guided tour. So you can win a guided tour for up to 10 people, of course, including yourself. And it's great for all ages. You'll get to explore our artifact-filled exhibits like we've been talking about, the historic White Path Cabin. You'll get to go in and really experience that and learn even more about one of our favorite exhibit pieces and favorite artifacts here at the History Center. And you'll even get to go and get a sneak peek of our archives, which is super cool, and get to see some of the exhibits that have not made it up to the main level. And any museum, most of the objects are actually in the archives. What you see is only a small percentage of what we have.
Yeah, and up next, we're going to be talking a little bit about volunteers and about interns and the opportunities that you have to help us out by, sharing your knowledge, sharing your passion, sharing your skills that can be folded in with what we have here and really execute and provide a great program for the kids and adults that come through the History Center.
Yeah, let's dive into that. So go ahead and share about this.
Yes, so we have so many different things to do here at the History Center if you would like to volunteer or be an intern. But if you are specifically interested in being an educational programming intern with me, we have so much fun. Of course, we are going to be helping out and planning family visits, family days, homeschool days, homestead days. Also, sometimes we will plan out miniature documentaries or things that are more on the digital side of our educational programming, including our podcast and all of those things. You might be able to help with the historical character portrayals, of course, our field trips. You'll get to see kind of what goes into making those, why we do what we do, and we have a lot of fun. It's a really good time in our educational programming internships. Of course, there are a lot of work. You're putting your nose to the grindstone to do all of the wonderful things and to learn all of the things, but it's an incredible educational opportunity that you don't get everywhere to see what goes into, well, all of the programming that we do here at the History Center.
Yeah, and some of the other things that you can do too is to help us out with some of the research and help us out with just some of the, I'd like to say crowd control, but helping out with those kids, because when those field trips show up, when homeschool days are here, the kids definitely need some adults to help guide them, help provide the programs. And you don't always have to be in costume. You don't always have to be part of that living history. Like I said, earlier, when I started out, I was doing some of the exhibits and talking about the tornado room. It was leading people through different things and just kind of helping and providing some support for the staff and those people that were doing the living history. So there's all sorts of little places where your skill set, your interests can fit in with what's going on with the programs.
Absolutely. So we really rely on our volunteers and our interns. So if you're interested in either of those programs, you can go and log on to our website. We have a whole tab dedicated to internships. We have a tab dedicated to volunteers. You can fill out a form there online, and then we will be in touch with you. You can select, there's lots of different areas that you can fill out that you are more interested in working on, or a certain one. But we can, we will then meet with you and discuss your form in more details to figure out exactly where you can fit in best here at the History Center.
I recognize that volunteer.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that was the day where I was like, hey, so we have this giant group coming and we could really use, they have requested a guided tour through the exhibits and we really need some help. And you jumped on it and did a great job.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was, for me, it took a little while to warm up, and then it was remembering back to the times I worked at a Boy Scout camp and working with Weeblos, and a little bit of like, okay, you can use a little bit louder voice to command some attention and get the kids through. But the kids were awesome. They responded, and I had a blast going through and learning even more about the exhibits and about the artifacts that we have here at the History Center.
Because those are truly the centerpiece. That's why we have a museum, is these artifacts and our exhibits. And of course, we can always, Leslie has been doing an absolutely wonderful job updating those, but we can still use more funding to continue the updates. So if you are interested, please go to our website and you can donate now to help with the completion and updating of our exhibits.
Yeah, and some of the things that we need is like acid-free paper, so we can put documents, we can put photographs into those things, store them correctly. We need proper hangers for the wardrobe. We need, a dryer that can help keep the artifacts room at a constant, proper humidity level.
Yes, the dehumidifier.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that we need to make sure that these artifacts just don't also disintegrate in our care and become unusable, but we have a chance to preserve them, because honestly, while we're here, we're kind of the guardians, and this is our watch, our turn to do this, and then eventually we're all going to be gone. But hopefully these artifacts, with your help, is really going to be able to last longer than any of us, and will be able to share with future generations.
Because that is our job, is to protect and preserve the past for our future generations to learn from. But we can't do that all on our own. We need your help. Our museum is really a community place. We are a service to our community, but we also need our community's help in doing that, because we are such a small team here, and we are a nonprofit. We receive no federal or state funding. We are the Northeast Georgia History Center, but we do not receive any federal or state funding. We are on Brunel's campus, and they provide wonderful services, but we do not have any. We do not receive any funding from them for our exhibits and or collections. So it would be incredible if you were able to donate towards that, so that we can try to display even more artifacts for that. So we would be incredibly appreciative if you would go onto our website and do that. Now, if you are not able to give money, as we all know, like times are tight, right? So if you aren't able to give money, we'd also appreciate you giving your time as a volunteer. We have so many wonderful volunteers that are able to make these programs and events that we have really go on, because while I try sometimes, I think I can do it all on my own. I really can't. We really can't. We are a small but mighty team, but we need your help. So if you are able to give your time and your talents, we appreciate that so much, because that is invaluable, truly. If you are able to come and help just lead a station, lead an activity. If you're good with kids, great. A lot of our programming does focus around children, but not all of it. Some of it is more family-centric, so all ages. But then also we have some events and activities that are more centered towards adults, such as our teas. Those are more focused around adults. Of course, children are welcome. I believe it's like ages 5 or 8 and up. But it is a wonderful time, and for teas, you really just have to be able to serve tea. You don't have to know anything about history or anything like that. So we have volunteer opportunities for people who have all interests and all skill sets. You just have to enjoy working with people and enjoy and want to help us further our mission here at the History Center.
Yeah, and one of the great things too about volunteering here is, depending on the program, depending on what's going on, you're going to meet other interesting volunteers. You're going to meet so many people with different backgrounds, different stories, and a lot of times, because of the shared interest in preserving and sharing the history of Northeast Georgia, you're going to become buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You just are. That's kind of how that works. And so there's a great community amongst our volunteers that really do connect with each other and become friends.
So if you want to come and join us, like I said, you can sign up to be a volunteer on our website. We have a form for you to fill out to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your interests, so that we can best, we can all have the best fun and the most learning experiences here at the History Center. And we can always, usually once you send in your form, we'll contact you, and then we'll schedule a meeting so that we can talk in person about more of what we're going to, where's the best fit for you, what are you going to enjoy the most, and help us the best and serve our community.
And I think next we've got a video about field trips, and so you sit back, relax, enjoy this video.
So if you want to volunteer and help with our field trips, as you can see, they're a lot of fun. The kids have a great time, and we need your help, because it is always just so wonderful to have an extra set of hands there just to help guide the kids, help direct them, especially when they're in the galleries and in our exhibits, just to help them, direct them to where those artifacts are that they're looking for on the scavenger hunt, and answer any questions that they might have.
Yeah, and another thing too is, while you're seeing some of these videos about the field trips and about working with the kids, if you maybe are more technical and IT savvy, then we probably have some challenges that you can help us out with, that you can help document what's going on, that you can help us go through that editing process. You can help us in many different ways. So, both working directly with everybody and then also behind the scenes, you can help us out as well.
Absolutely. We're a small but mighty team, and An extra set of hands is absolutely wonderful. So if you have any special talents that you would like to share with us, you can go ahead and let us know. You can email us or send in one of the volunteer forms.
Yeah, and one of the things that is great too is when you're able to volunteers, bring a friend with you. It's a great way that you don't just come out here by yourself without knowing anybody, but you got a friend that's joining in, helping us out, and more the merrier.
And it's a wonderful way to get involved with your community and to serve your community, to give back, and to really invest in the past and the future, as we are preserving our past for our future generations, and to make sure that those stories indeed are preserved and continue to be shared. So if you're interested in local service and community service, what better place?
Right. And sorry, I got distracted. Oh boy. Okay.
So we have many volunteer opportunities. All of the models of our historic fashion show are indeed volunteers that are just absolutely wonderful, and they come and help us raise money. This last year we raised money for our historic textile collections that we've already mentioned some of the needs for those, like the hangers, the padded hangers. So these were all wonderful volunteers. A lot of them are historic costumers themselves, but some aren't, and we were able to supply them with costumes, which again, we talked about the need for those as well. So please enjoy this video, and also please consider donating. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for attending today. Historical fashion is one of my absolute passions. And I am so excited that we get to share so many wonderful fashions of the 18th century with you today. Throughout the 18th century, men, women, and children, from kings to queens to merchants to peasants, all had their clothing custom made for them essentially by hand. The sewing machine does not come out as we know it until the 1840s. So everything that you see today would have been hand stitched. Now, of course, there is also a thriving secondhand clothing market, just like there is today, for especially people of the lower and lower middling classes would have purchased their clothing perhaps from some of the more ready-made items that were looser fitting. Now, throughout the 18th century, we are going to be seeing lots of different clothing today. Most of them are going to be European in their descent, and also in the European colonies such as America. In the 18th century, it was a time of enlightenment, a time of revolution, a time of colonialism, where Europe set sail. There was a lot of political controversy as well throughout the 18th century. So it is a lot of things that we are going to briefly touch on today. We are going to mostly be focusing on the clothes and a little bit about the history of the clothes as well, but mostly just the clothes, the construction, and then of course who would have been wearing them as well. So it seems fitting, since we are in Georgia, which was a colony of Great Britain, that we start with General Oglethorpe. General Oglethorpe, would you please make your way to the runway? This is Richard Burke. He portrays Oglethorpe for us for some of our Living History programs. You'll be able to see him in action at our homeschool day coming up next week. He is wearing a military uniform that would have been worn by General Oglethorpe upon the establishment of the colony of Georgia by Great Britain. Of course, Georgia is named after King George, after all, III. So this would be from the late 1730s to the early 1740s. This outfit that you see before you is a recreation of the 42nd Regiment of Foot, which was, of course, Oglethorpe's regiment. The red coat is very typical of British military uniform at this time, and it is still used for full British uniform dress today. Red was also just a popular color for suits and clothes of the early 1700s and going forward. Of course, everyone here has heard the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, I'm sure, and that is because red cloaks are probably the closest the English ever came to having a national dress. They were just so popular. Now, of course, you'll also see that his coat is collarless, and it is cut with full skirts. This is also, we have some very nice wide cuffs that are a beautiful green. Of course, his hair is long, as was the custom for men in the 18th century. We have boots, of course, for military purposes, black leather shoes. Also, the skirts of the jacket are cut large and with vents in the back to allow for ease of access to the sword. Thank you so much, General Oglethorpe. Next up, we have Jess modeling an English style gown, or a robe l'anglaise.
Yes.
This is an English style gown, so it was very popular in England. So that is where it gets its name from. It was also worn in other places too, of course. This style of gown has a hallmark of a long center back seam that runs from the very top of the bodice all the way down to the hem. Therefore, the back is cut with the skirt attached. If you look very closely at the center back, there is no waist seam. It is one long piece. There are then pleats that go to essentially fit the back to the wearer. These pleats can be fairly large, as the dress that we're looking at now is styled for the 1740s and 1750s. Please note the winged cuffs on her jacket, on her robe, on her dress. This would have been very popular, of course, in the 1740s to 1750s. The English style gown will continue to be popular throughout the 1800s, and we'll see another version of it that is a little different than this later. Thank you. Now, if you came to our fashion show last year, some people were wondering, how do you get your dresses to stay like that? Next year, we have Pat, who has graciously volunteered to show you what goes on under the dress. So, of course, starting with what is closest to the skin, we have the shift. The shift is going to be this very loose neck, long sleeve garment that goes to about the knees. It has a drawstring at the top, therefore you can fit it to your various necklines that you have. Of course, it's going to be closest to your skin. That's what's going to catch the most oils, the most sweat, all the stink. It's going to be what is washed the most. Because could you imagine trying to wash what I'm wearing? It's not fun. I've done it. Therefore, you're going to want to have something under that you can actually wash and save everything else. Of course, she is then over her shift, she is wearing her stays. This is essentially the ancestor of the corset, if you will. This is what is going to give us all of our shapes and why we all kind of look like triangles. That is, the conical silhouette is the most popular. Basically throughout almost all of the 1700s, and only changes vary at the last 2 decades of the 1700s, really. Of course, to hold out your skirt, we're going to have your pocket hoops, or your paniers, or side hoops. They are known by various names. The English prefer the term hoops, and this is what's going to hold the dress out. Now, these are called pocket hoops because they're worn on the side, just like pockets, which you will see a little bit later in our fashion show. But essentially, you can pull out all sorts of things in here. It's great. It's kind of like a DSL more camera in there. Don't ask me how I know. Thank you. Now, so that you can see what a gown would look like over those underpinnings, we have Amity modeling a robe à la française. So the robe à la française was the standard garment for women for both day and evening wear in the mid-1700s. The gown was worn as an informal garment in the morning and the afternoon, but was also worn as a very highly formal gown in the evening. Of course, the gown was always essentially the same style, but different fabrics would have been used to indicate the formality. As you can see, she's wearing this beautiful blue fabric, which is very formal. These note an admired stacked box pleats at the back of the dress. These pleats are also known as watteau pleats, and they fall from the shoulder all the way to the floor, as she has hers bustled here to create a little bit more interest as well. Now, this is the back of the gown. And it's, of course, called a robe à la française, but it's also known actually as a sack back gown because of the way that the watteau pleats fall. The robe à la française began in the 1730s, but it was popular until the 1770s, of course, with slight differences, and we'll see some of those differences in just a little bit. Thank you. of fashion in the 1700s, we also have traditional dress, which of course is still worn, especially in some areas that are perhaps not as populated. So while women in the British Isles, including most of Scotland, followed what was generally popular in fashion trends, especially if they were well-to-do and well-born, women in the Western Isles and the Highlands of Scotland continued to wear a more traditional style of dress until well into the late 18th century. The most distinctive feature of the Highlands women's dress is the airicid, a 3-yard long piece of wide, finely woven worsted wool, plain, striped, or checkered plaid fabric that was worn belted around the waist, with the upper part draped over the shoulder or shoulders like a shawl. And it was pinned in place with a large ring brooch, which was of course sometimes decorated. Now under the airicid, a typical gown or jacket with a petticoat would be worn. The airicid was an all-weather garment, and the word plaid actually means blanket, which you can kind of see why in this model here. Now, this of course provided warmth, protection from the elements, and of course, if you tuck it into your belt just so, it creates some really great pockets that you can put all sorts of things in. Next up, we have a gentleman's Scottish look. Here we see a Scottish gentleman's look from pre-1746. Why that exact date? Well, the British government was hearing the rise of Scottish nationalism at the time. I'm sure if you've seen Outlander, you know about the Jacobite Rebellion. So, of course, at this time, the British government outlawed the use of traditional Scottish clothing, specifically meaning kilts, cap badges, and tartans for men and boys with the Dress Act of 1746. This outlawed national dress in Scotland for men and boys in Scotland north of the Highland line running from Perth in the east to Dumbarton in the west. This is a very good example that clothing can of course be political. An item of clothing can be a political statement. Clothing can define force and it can be part of national identity. Now Scottish or Highland dress such as tartan, plaid, and bonnets were not just worn in the Highlands of Scotland, but were also worn with regularity in the colonies by those of Scottish descent and also those who were not. Tartan and plaid were often made of woolen or worsted fibers, but were also made of silk or combinations thereof. Thank you. Up next we have Denise modeling her jacket and petticoat. Yes, I did say petticoat. Nowadays we think of the word petticoat as just being dressed or a skirt under a the word skirt actually doesn't come into use until the 1800s. So you have over petticoats and you have under petticoats. Also notice that her jacket does not have a lacing. Instead it has vertical lines that will then be joined to create this overall jacket effect. Please also note that she is wearing a stomacher. So we have had several ladies wearing stomachers. They were very popular in the mid-1700s. This is a piece of fabric that is triangular in nature and well, right over the stomach. This 1700s clothing I love because it is so versatile in sizing. Lots of women were experiencing lots of pregnancies at this time. So you want your clothing to be able to expand and contract with you, which you can do with the lacing in the front here. Also, I'd like to point out her kerchief, which is a printed reproduction from the 18th century, her hat, and her... Thank you so much. Up next, we have Bissy modeling a riding habit from the mid-1700s, particularly 1750 to 1760. This is made of a beautiful red, of course red being very popular for jackets and fashion of all sorts. Now riding habits would of course be worn for riding one's horse, but also for traveling of all types. So you would also perhaps wear this in your carriage as well. Now you will also notice that this is perhaps the most masculine style of garment that we see a woman wearing, as the cut of the coat is taken directly from menswear. She also might even be wearing a waistcoat under this as well. Again, directly taken from menswear, and a shirt. that is almost identical to a men's shirt and cravat as you see at her neck. Of course, we also have a beautiful cap and hat, and if you are traveling or out on your boat, of course, you want to be protected from the sun. There is no sunscreen. Therefore, one must protect oneself. But notice the brim of her hat is very, very shallow. This is very popular throughout all of the 1700s. Thank you so much. Next, we have some gentlemen's fashion. We have Stephen wearing a brown three-piece suit. The three-piece suit, we really have Charles II to thank for that and his court dress, which still continues to this day to be men's full dress, right? It's your suit jacket, your waistcoat, well, today would be waistcoat, now we call it a vest, and your breeches. See those lovely breeches? You have to show off those calves. When you bow, you will put your best foot forward, which basically means your best calf. Which one you're going to select the best, right? That's where that saying comes from. Breeches were popular for men throughout the entire 18th century. We don't get pants for men until about the 1820s. Otherwise, this is a very typical, what a very typical man about town would be wearing. Of course, you have your cravat. You have what we would call a tricorn hat, but at this time it would just be called a cocked hat, as the brim is cocked to the sides. Thank you so much. Oh, next is me. Now I can step away from the podium and get to show you my dress. Oops. So I am wearing a robe a la Française from about 1760. I have done my hair so it is tall, but it is not quite the tall height that we get in the 1770s. The hair kind of starts to go up, hits its height, and then comes back down, as you will see from our ladies that we have currently coming next. Also in the 1750s, we hit our height of panniers, or I should say our width of panniers, especially in court. I am wearing pocket hoops, and mine are about 1760s or so we aren't quite incredibly wide, but I still have to turn this way to the door, right? For modern purposes. I also have lace at my cuffs. These are called falling cuffs. And you will also notice that my dress is trimmed with the same fabric that the dress is made out of. So this is a self-trimmed dress, very popular and pretty much the norm for the mid-1700s. We will see there is a lot of trim. In the 1750s, 1760s, we hit our height of Rococo and Baroque influence upon fashion. So, and also, you will notice the Watteau fleece, which is the hallmark of the robe a la Française. All right, next we will have Steve. Also, of course, red is a popular color. As I said, very popular color in this century. We have the red suit jacket, waistcoat, breeches, stockings, and shoes. He is ready for a formal occasion with this, and it is more trimmed, it's more elaborate. Now, Stephen had wore the same colors. We are now highlighting the waistcoat here. This is one that we want to bring attention to. Also notice the cut of the coat. It will not fit. It has buttons, it has buttonholes, but it is not meant to float. It is not meant to. It is to show that you are so wealthy that you can afford another coat to put on. If it was actually that cold outside. It is really just, this is all about fashion right here. Thank you so much. Next, we have another robe a la Française. As I said, this is the staple garment for ladies throughout the mid-1700s, from about 1720 to 1770. Now, I did find, as I was doing my research, a very fun quote about the robe a la Française. You would think, since it's the standard garment for women, that everyone would be fine with it, but no! There's actually a quote from John Chrysler in 1757 that said, for these past 2 years, if any woman comes in a volant or French satin, which are a volant is basically the pre-runner to the robe a la Française, as it is called, either in St. Stephen's or any other large church at Vienna, she is immediately ordered to withdraw the clergy from the pulpit have given vent to their zeal against such loose-fitting dresses and very bitter terms. So, well, this is, if you go to Versailles, which of course France was very much the center of culture and fashion in most definitely the mid-1700s, you would see a dress very similar to this. Not even just for formal occasions, but perhaps even during the day, if you were at court. Thank you so much. Next, we have Mary, modeling a Petite jacket and petticoat. So this is essentially a jacket version of the robe of a Française or a sack-back gown, as it still has those beautiful watchtoe pleats, but it does not go all the way to the ground. Now the name is officially cut en l'air, which if any of you speak French, you might be giggling a little bit, because it directly translates to far to the air. It was basically a joke that kind of just continued to this day. Now, this is a silk overdress and petticoat. All of the stitching is hand done. Edges are on this. You will see, of course, it is trimmed, but all of the trim is inked, which means that that is how it is finished there. If you ever heard of inking shears, if you have sewn, that is how all of the edges of this trim are finished. Of course, the stomacher is made from matching silk and pinned to the bodice. That is how just about all of our clothing is, we're all pinned into this. Again, to allow for changing sizes for people. Your clothes is adjustable. There is also a small set of panniers worn under the skirt, and I would love to, let's have them see it, the pocket. Yes. So all pockets would have been tied onto the waist. You could use that pocket with any dress that you wanted then. You could, of course, hide it under your jacket. If you had a shorter jacket, you could hide it in your petticoat, and there is a split in it, so you could get to it. You might have heard how little Miss Molly lost her pocket. Well, you could lose your pocket because it's not sewn into your clothes. It's tied on. So, also, if someone's going to come and pick your pocket, they're not just picking what's in your pocket, they're taking your entire pocket. So, you want to make sure you hide it like Mary is doing. Great. Right. Next, we have Kat modeling another robe a la Française. So now you can see what it would look like. You have seen the underpinnings and of course now the outer robe. Now you will notice how well this dress fits Kat. And again, everything is adjustable. So there are actually ties in the back under the watchtoe sleeves, which means that we can tie it to fit it directly to our back. Also notice her beautiful falling cuffs and the lace engagements. The lace would actually would be tacked in lightly to the sleeve and could therefore be cut and then re-put into another dress because lace is very expensive. Also notice the height of Kat's hair. Our hair is growing as the century progresses. Accessories are going to be what are really the changing fashion. I also wanted to point out her stomacher, which is beautiful. The stomacher on this robe a la Française is actually very similar to one that is made of metallic lace, which is held at the costume collection at Colonial Williamsburg and is dated to 1765 to 1775. Thank you so much. Now, you have seen a lot of robe a la Françaises that are trimmed in the same fabric as the dress, such as mine and Mara's. But here we have Aliana modeling a beautiful robe a la Française, which is trimmed in a beautiful white silk gauze. So if it's not going to be trimmed by the same fabric, it'll be trimmed in a beautiful white, almost frosting-like confection here. The goal is indeed almost to look like a cake. It is scrumptious. You will also notice the tall Georgian hairstyles have essentially hit their height now as we have gone from 1772 to 1775. That is when their height is going to be. Our hairstyles will now keep increasing for the rest of the show. Now I have been using this term Georgian, so you may or may not have known that term. It is a term that generally refers to most of the 18th century, as we had many Georges on the throne as king of England. George I, second, and most famous in America. America George III because of the Revolution. But George III has actually been getting a lot of press recently. He made an appearance in Hamilton. And also in the new TV show, Queen Charlotte. All right, thank you so much. Next, we have Molly modeling a blue robe anglaise. So as I was saying, we had our first one that Jess was wearing. Now we have, of course, a later one. This one would date to 1770s, 1780s. One of the hallmarks of this is that you'll notice that the center front is closed. From about the mid-1770s, we now will see closed garments and no more stomachers. This is a huge revolution in fashion. Now, of course, the hallmark of the robe a l'anglaise is that one long center seam down the back, and that is still there. The pleats are smaller though. And this is, of course, just part of the fashion of the times, part of those small changes that people can make. Also, you'll notice there are no cuffs on this. Cuffs are out. Cuffs are still mid-1700s. They've now moved into the late 1700s, and we don't want cuffs anymore. There is a smaller amount of trim, where also as the height of hair is decreasing, also the amount of trim is decreasing. We see trim, of course, along the bodice, the center front, and around the neckline, but no, not so much on the skirts anymore. And this is just part of changing fashion. Thank you so much. We now have modeling a jacket and petticoat. This is what women who were of the working class or middle class would have been wearing. You'll see that it pins close. Sometimes it's referred to as a bed gown. It is just a very simple working garment. It's of course suitable for you to go to market in, but it's also suitable for you to go and do farming chores in. This is what you'd be wearing. Fashion of the working class stayed relatively the same from the early to mid 1700s, even into the late 1700s, and really only began changing with the beginning of the first industrial revolution. So the next part of our fashion show, you will see that the fashion is actually going to begin moving quicker. It's been pretty static with slight changes. But now, thanks to the invention of the spinning jenny and power loom, both of which made making cloth easier, we're going to see yours change much faster. Thank you. Next we have Aurelie modeling a beautiful jacket and petticoat. One might refer to this as a caraco jacket with a shorter skirt. Now, I really want to point out the fabric that she is wearing. A lot of the fabrics that we have seen today are linen, wool, silk, and that's pretty much it. And you might think, but what about cotton? Didn't they wear a lot of cotton? Actually, no. This is really the first cotton gown that we've seen. Cotton would have been probably the most expensive, even perhaps a little bit more expensive than silk. This is right here, high fashion. Now, of course, the style of dress we see would have been, of course, for midday, if you were an incredibly wealthy lady going about town, because this is a print that has been imported from India. This type of fabric is called chintz, which is an English version of the Hindi word for printed cotton fabric. You'll notice that this fabric has a beautiful red, blue, and green to it. It would have had been block printed. Of course, as with colonialism, we see this beautiful thing from afar, then people try to reproduce it much quicker and easier at home, leading to cotton becoming a little bit more easily available in printed cottons as well. But we'll also get more into that in the 1800s, which you'll have to come back next year for. Thank you. Next we have Caroline, modeling a 1770s riding habit. So as you can see from our first riding habit, we still take a lot of inspiration from men's fashion. See that cutaway jacket that we have right there? It is also, this riding habit in particular is the same as the one that Lady Rosalie wears in her 1775-1776 portrait done by Joshua Reynolds. And you might know Lady Worsley from the 2015 historical drama, The Scandalous Lady W. Now, Lady Worsley's riding habit was made to look like a uniform from her husband's regiment. And the same idea, this riding habit is meant to look like the uniform of an American patriot soldier during the American Revolution. It would be red, white, and blue colors, specifically the blue coat and petticoat and red facings on the jacket and the white waistcoat that comes to a beautiful point in the center front. As mentioned earlier, riding habits reflect changes in men's fashion. Riding habits, of course, would have been used for riding a horse, but also for traveling. Therefore, you would also want to have a hat to protect your head from sun. Thank you so much. Next, we have dress modeling a 1770s Italian style gown. The Italian gown made its debut on the world stage in 1776. The Italian gown can be identified by the 4 pieces sewn in a curve to create beautiful lines that lead to the lace that you'll see in the center back. This style can also be made with just 2 back pieces as well. The skirt of this gown is cut separate and then attached at the waist, meaning that there is a waistband all the way around. The Italian gown actually overtook the robe aux Françaises for full dress in the 1780s. The Italian gown made its debut among the aristocracy and then spread to every social class, and this dress can be found in every type of fabric. In the 1770s, we also have a shift away from panniers that I am wearing and to false romps. Yes, that's what they were called. So, false romps are first mentioned in 1776. This makes the Italian gown and the false romp very revolutionary for America. False romps can come in many different shapes and designs, but this dress is worn over a split rump. So the point of the dress lays flat in the back. Thank you. Next we have what you would probably think of that American frontier spirit, and that is we have our gentleman, Stephen here, wearing a hunting frock coat. Also a printed a shirt here and a woven waistband. Of course, still wearing breeches and stockings. So you think of American soldiers, American Revolution. Some of them actually might have been wearing a hunting frock coat very similar to this that the American government would get them uniforms, which did happen at times. But if you think about people going out into the frontier, building a log cabin, hunting for their food, the hunting frock coat is going to be one of your best choices, just for, well, all weather, all purpose gear. It has lots of nice fringe here, while also decorative, helps one dry. So the water will be whipped to the edge of the fabric, and then the fringe will help it evaporate more quickly. Thank you so much. Yes. Next we have Ashley wearing her 1780s purple round gown. Here we have the height of 1780s fashion. Of course, it is not as big, perhaps, as we had, but in form of dress, but really 1780s is all about the accessories. Yes. We have this beautiful, nowadays we call it hedgehog style hair, but it is this beautiful poof that was very popular in the 1780s. Also note her beautiful lace tissue around her neck, her green sash. Sashes were all the rage. They were thought to be very unique and a little bit exotic. Also, this is one of the first times that we've seen something for a woman's formal dress. Long sleeves. Yes. Now the riding habits have that, mind you, but that is directly from men's fashion. This is the first time we see a lady's very nice dress with long sleeves. This is in the 1780s. We have ladies with long sleeves and 3/4 length sleeves making their debut. Everything else had been here at the elbow. So now we have beautiful long sleeves. Now this is a round gown, meaning that this is all one piece. There is no more separate petticoat and gown over. So this is all, the skirt is still cut separate in the front and ties at the waist, but technically it goes all the way around, making it a round gown. All right, thank you so much. Next, we have a men's suit, a very formal suit, perhaps one that you could wear to a wedding. And from the 1770s. Note the fine fabrics. Note all of the buttons are also covered in this beautiful fabric as well. Note the wig with the queue in the back. The height of fashion for men at this time, of course, with curls at the side, and also a little hoop at the front, very classic. Also, note that this jacket, very much like the one that we saw Steve wear earlier, is not actually going to close in the front. It is purely for formality, purely to show off, because of course, if your jacket closes in the front, how can we see your beautiful waistcoat? Also note that this is all made of the same exact fabric, meaning very, very fancy, right? You have everything is matching. So, height of fashion that we are seeing right here. Also notice with the men's waistcoats, they have been going up and the little flaps on them have been getting smaller. This is probably like the lady's hair goes up and down, men's waistcoats, they just keep going up. Also, of course, note the beautiful cravat that is sticking out from the waistcoat here, and of course, the cocked hat. Thank you so much. Next, we have Mara modeling a beautiful Polonaise gown. This gown is a beautiful representation of how one would wear a dress a la Polonaise or pulled up in the back, as you see here. Also with the beautiful ruffle on the back, which is very classic, the Polonaise style. You will see that she has beautiful, very long, falling cuffs from her sleeve. Also note the hat. It is perched on her head. Part of the taller hairdos allow for that beautiful slant of the hat there. Also notice that she is wearing a stomacher with beautiful crisscross lacing. This is more just for decorative, not for holding it together. Now, Mara did wear this dress as her wedding dress. Yeah. And while white was not the color until Queen Victoria, white and silver were still very popular choices for royalty. Next we have Kat wearing a blue Italianate style gown worn a la Polonaise. Now again, we're moving more into the late 1700s. The dresses are getting less and less trim, but again, it's all about the accessories. We'll start from the top and work our way down, alright? So first we will see a wired cap on her head. That means that we have a wired brim to the cap. This design is based on contemporary paintings dating from as early as 1745 to as late as 1778. During the late 1760s, caps such as these frequently appear in portraits of very fashionable ladies. Now, you'll notice here, the gown is worn on what we would call either a Polonaise or retroussé, which means literally to be pulled up. It is a very popular style of gown that gives more interest to the back. And also, if you already had an Italianate style gown, you can pour a true robe a la Polonaise. You could just do this to a skirt, which is very easy. You just add a couple ties, tie it together, add a couple buttons, button it up, and suddenly you have a whole other style of dress that you can wear. Things aren't always constantly being made, remade, or reworked to go with the newest fashion. You aren't just buying a new dress because that is cost prohibitive to many, many people. Therefore, adding accessories, doing the skirt a little bit different makes this very easy to stay in style. Of course, we have the long white gloves, we have the lovely tissue. Also, you'll notice that her apron is purely decorative. This is not a working apron. This is purely for style. Also, let's see the shoes. We haven't gotten, I don't think we did pay enough attention to the shoes during this fashion show. So, a lot of our shoes are made of leather and have buckles on them. It can be fun, different colors. But these are called mules, and they are made of fabric, a beautiful brocade fabric, and have no heel on the back. Well, they have a heel on the back, but the heel of her foot is not covered. These would be beautiful shoes that you would probably just be wearing about your house. You're not going to go and walk the cobblestone streets of any city that also does not have proper sewage. In these, you would need our shoes that are leather and also a nice little heel to get you out of the muck. Thank you so much. Next, we have JC, who is going to be wearing an outfit of a general man about town, or perhaps even going into the Continental Army. Maybe he's a Minuteman, who knows? So this outfit is designed for the late 1770s to early 1780s. Again, you will notice that we have lots of wools and linens that are being worn. This nice, beautiful green wool coat. Of course, matched with coordinating waistcoat and breeches. Also, you will see that he is wearing leather guards to keep up his socks. This is very necessary. You don't want your socks falling down. That's very bad. You'll also notice that he is wearing his hat, which is topped, and has also a rosette on it. That could be a number of things. Perhaps those who know will know. We also have a haversack. This is a thing that can carry all of his goods that he might need that won't fit in his pockets. Also with a walking stick. Walking sticks were not just for people who perhaps needed stability, but also for any respectable gentleman to go about town in. Also, I would like to point out his glasses as well. So these glasses with metal frames and round rims would have been incredibly appropriate for people who needed them in the late 1700s. Thank you so much. Next, we have Shannon modeling a round gown from the later half of the 1700s, particularly the 1770s to 1790s. This gown is made of green linen and also is worn just as Ashley's is as a round gown. That means that it is all one piece. Sometimes round gowns are made to look like it has a little bit of a petticoat of the same nature, just by the way the folds of the fabric are draped, but not necessarily so. Also notice how she does have some beautiful rosette at her neckline, but not that much trim on the dress. This is just common in the fashion. This is a beautiful fashion for a middle sort of lady. Also, I would like to point out that she has a tucker instead of a tissue around her neckline. Her hair is done. Of course, it's getting smaller, but it still has volume, which is very, very popular in the later half of 1700s. And also her her ribbon on her cap matches her rosette and the trim on her hat. Oh, we would also like to point out the shoes here. We have these beautiful leather shoes with the buckles. The shoes would have buckled or tied. Thank you so much. Next, we have a very scandalous fashion. Perhaps one of the most scandalous fashions in all of history. It is the chemise a la reine, or basically the queen's underwear. Yes. The chemise dress made its debut in the 1780s and 1790s. It's sometimes known as gauze or robe de chemise. It first appeared in France really highly, but the fashion very soon and quickly spread to all across Europe and the Americas. This term, robe a la reine, or chemise a la reine, because it was first really debuted and came onto the social scene, and the dress became associated with the French Queen brand next after a painting of her wearing one of these dresses by Elizabeth de Burgh was exhibited in 1783 in the Paris Salon. The public was outraged. They're like, oh my gosh, our queen is wearing underwear and she had a painting of it? Oh! But people really liked it and they copied it anyway. Didn't make the queen any more popular though. Here we have another chemise a la reine. So as you will notice, the gown is basically a loose tube of sheer cotton secured with drawstrings at the neck and at the waist. We have large sleeves and colorful silk or satin sash at the waist. I would also like to note that all of Catherine's outfits that she has been made today are made the incredibly historically accurate way of hand sew outfit. Needle and thread, every stitch. This chemise, or chemise a la reine, was worn under or over another thin chemise and petticoat to give the skirt a little bit more fullness. So So the gown can also be worn with full sleeves or soft sleeves or en naturel, as are shown in various different artworks of the time period. Early examples of the dress were full and gathered all around the bodice, with full sleeves gathered at the elbow and sometimes higher, with one or more flounces at the neckline and at the hem, and often decorated with ribbon, as we see here. Later examples had fitted backs and fitted sleeves, and the dress was almost always made of sheer white fabric, usually cotton, sometimes figured with small decorative devices in the fabric, as you can see here as well. Thank you so much. So now as we go into the 1790s, we will be seeing a rather more drastic transition as the world has undergone many revolutions. There's the American Revolution, of course, but also the French Revolution starts in 1789. We have the Industrial Revolution, which has happened, and making fashion change even faster. Here we have an example of men's fashion from the late 1790s. Of course, the jacket is cut very similarly, but it's a little shorter. The waistcoat now has no points. It has those flaps that keep cutting shorter. They're not there anymore. They're gone. Of course, men are still wearing breeches and quills for about another decade, but this is really the last hurrah of breeches. Of course, we also have a walking stick, as any gentleman should, any respectable gentleman. Yes, and then a nice straw hat, as it seems like you're about to go on a walk about town. Yes, thank you so much. Now, in the same idea of the robe à la reine, we now have the new style of gown, which comes out in the late 1790s and will carry us through the early 1800s. So Marlena here is modeling what, again, is still a round gown, but the waistline has moved far up with that chemise à la reine, and it will stay up for another decade or so. There were so many political and fashion changes that occurred in the 1790s. Of course, the French Revolution being one of those impactful. A lot of people therefore forego the outfit that I'm wearing, these large, beautiful gowns, and they want to look simplistic because, well, people that look like they aren't using their heads. So, adopting this new, beautiful style that also reflects the classical art of Greece and Rome, these new ideals of democracy that are beginning to flower, of brotherhood, of equality. It's more reflected in these outfits that we see here. You see the Grecian-inspired shawl, and also you have an open gown worn over the round gown as well, which would have been the height of fashion. Thank you so much. All right, and that concludes our fashion show as we have gone through the early 1700s all the way to the late 1700s. Thank you so much for attending our 18th century fashion show. Our models will be doing one last walk at the runway. You can now see all of their fashions in order, and they will be making their way to our VIP reception.
All right, thank you so much, everyone.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to our 4th Annual Telethon, and I hope you enjoyed that footage from our annual historic fashion show Promenade as part of our volunteer segment of our telethon. The fashion show could not happen, of course, without all of our wonderful models, all of whom were volunteers for our annual fashion show, which we will have again in 2024. Very excited about that one, as we are going to explore 20th century styles. So really getting into those vintage styles that we know and love, and we'll learn all about the context of them as well. And so volunteer opportunities here at the Northeast Georgia History Center are quite varied, and if we're hoping that you will allow us to utilize your skills and your passion for history, whether it's an activity during our homeschool days, our field trips, or getting dressed up in your 18th century best. There is a place for you here at the History Center. And in this next segment, before we dive into our next segment, we have some very exciting thank yous. Of course, this is our telethon fundraiser, and we are asking you to consider us for your end of year giving. We have a lot of ways to support us. But I wanted to give a really big shout out and thank you to the Walker family. The Walkers have donated $1,070 to our telethon. So thank you so much for your extremely generous donation. That is all going to go towards supporting our living history interpretation, costumes, and accessories. So it's perfect timing to have that large donation during our footage of the fashion show. That is going to make such a big difference because so much of what we do is living history. And the special part of living history is, of course, really getting to immerse yourself in the material culture of the living historians of the time period. And so that $1,070 is going to go all toward our living history interpretation. Thank you so much to the Walker family. Wow. And we also had some donations come in as well. I want to thank Matt. Thank you, Matt, for your $101 donation. Thank you. That's very generous. I really appreciate that, Matt. And from Victor, thank you, Victor, for your $100 donation. And we also had a couple of nice comments coming in as we are calling our members to thank them for their membership. So if you get a voicemail from us, then know that that is for us to show our appreciation. I'll be giving some calls a little bit later this evening, so we'd love to hear from you to share our appreciation for your support to our wonderful community of members, and also get your feedback on what you would like to see in 2024 as a member. And so we have a couple of members I wanted to share some of their thoughts on our programs. Kristen says, we're a homeschool family, so we really enjoy the homeschool days you all put on. They are really special for the kids, and we always learn something. Thank you so much, Kirsten. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Kirsten. That's very sweet of you. We love our homeschool days. Homeschool days take place once every month through the academic year. And we just had our Civil War homeschool day. Next month in January, it's going to be all about the Gilded Age, and we're going to be exploring all of the new technologies that emerged during this time in the late 1800s and into the early 1900s. And so we look forward to seeing you again, Kirsten, at our next homeschool day. We also have Mary. Mary says, we really appreciate the History Center and all that it does for the community. We moved here about 10 years ago, and the History Center is one of the first places we went. It's really grown since then. We bring all of our out-of-town guests to the History Center. It always has good information. Thank you so much, Mary, and we're so glad that you invite others to the History Center to learn about the wonderful history of our region. Viewers, members, listeners, I really hope that you share with your friends and family the events that we put on throughout the year, and to invite them to see our exhibits, our historic structures like the White Path Cabin, the Hoyt Heron Blacksmith Shop, to take place in the wonderful programs that are supported by the Ivester Foundation through the Ada Mae Ivester Education Center here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. And that's a great way to support, is to simply share, because I think the staff and I could all agree that we are still we feel like a hidden gem, but we are becoming less and less hidden these days. It's been a really great year of growth for us. And at the same time, it's interesting for us because we've seen so many new people walk through our doors, so many more field trips from schools, which are wonderful. But as many nonprofits experience, the pandemic really set us back, having to miss several fundraisers. And so we are still feeling the challenge from that. And I think that next year is going to be a really good year for us as we celebrate our 20th anniversary. So your support is needed now more than ever to allow us to continue our mission into another 20 years and another 20. And so we really appreciate everyone who's donated today so far. Again, thank you so much to the Walker family for our largest donation today of over $1,000, and to everyone who has donated, everyone who's gotten a membership recently. We so appreciate our member community. And be sure to lock in a great deal on memberships. We are going to be increasing our prices, and that's the first time we've increased our membership dues maybe ever. And so we want to keep our memberships affordable and approachable for everyone. So there's still very much a competitive rate, but do lock in a good deal today and throughout the end of this year before we increase our prices in January. So lock in a great deal. You can go to our website down below and up there, our website /telethon. So it's www.negahc.org/telethon. We'll be running those membership deals until the end of the year. So come January 1st, those will increase, but go ahead and lock in a great deal. You get excellent benefits as a member, especially if you are going to get our contributor membership. That gets you reciprocal membership into over 60 other Georgia museums. So it's a really awesome program. You can see all the details by going to the links up there and below and contributing that way. But again, if you can't give with your donation, then you can certainly give in other ways, especially through volunteering. And we just showed you a volunteer segment where you can participate in our educational programs and our special events like our historic fashion show. But we also have a wonderful children's reading program here called Gainesville Reads. And this is Gainesville Reads is particularly special to me, and it really all began back in about 2018 or so, just a year after I came here to the History Center in 2017. My previous work was at a great children's literacy organization called New Haven Reads, and in a way we're kind of like a sister organization. They consulted us, they advised me in developing our own children's reading program, because speaking to our board and to our executive director at the time, we saw that there was a great opportunity to have a children's reading program, and especially since the core of our mission is education and history education, everything starts with literacy. Everything starts with that foundational skill of literacy, and it's so important, especially in the lives of children as they're learning about history. And so we received consultation and great advice from New Haven Reads up in Connecticut, where I worked with a wonderful team up there before coming back home to Georgia to join here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. And we were so fortunate. In 2019, we had a wonderful fundraiser, our annual Taste of History fundraiser. And we were very lucky because, of course, this was 2019 and just around the corner. We didn't know it, but things were going to be very challenging for us. And so to receive the funding for this program was very lucky for us, and we're so fortunate to have such great support in the community for Gainesville Reads. Now, Gainesville Reads, I'd like to take you on a short presentation to talk about the need in our community here in Hall County for a literacy program like Gainesville Reads, and the story of Gainesville Reads. So let me go ahead and show you a brief presentation, and then I'd love to share some testimonials and some interviews with our tutors, our program managers, and show you some photos from our reading program, Gainesville Reads, and how you can become a volunteer tutor. Volunteering at Gainesville Reads and tutoring at Gainesville Reads is such a joy, and I think you'll see why. But just to give you some context about the need here in Hall County, I'll start with this brief presentation. So here in Hall County, we have, of course, this is a presentation that I presented to the Rotary Club of Gainesville. I was very happy to present to them and very grateful for the opportunity. So I'd like to tell you about Gainesville Reads here in Hall County. Now, throughout this presentation, I'll give you a little introduction to myself and how I got involved. I am the child of two retired public school educators, and so education has been a huge part of my life. And I did not know that I would become a museum educator in life, but I'm so glad that it found me, and that I was also part of the team at New Haven Reads when I had the opportunity to work there in New Haven, Connecticut, and then come home back to Georgia and work at the Northeast Georgia History Center, where I've been here since 2017, and spearhead the initiative for developing our own children's literacy program based on the model at New Haven Reads. Now, there's a great need here in Hall County, and of course the pandemic really affected many students, but here in Hall County, we do have many students, these are statistics from the Georgia Department of Education, so we're looking at statistics of third grade students. Third grade is a crucial time for literacy skills. It kind of determines the success of the child moving forward, even as far as high school graduation rates. And so here in Hall County, we do have nearly 46% of our population here, of our students in third grade, reading below grade level. And so it's a vitally needed resource to have literacy education and literacy support for children here in Hall County. Now, that equates to about 11 out of 25 of our elementary schools are reading below 50% or more below grade level, and some as high as 74%. Now, there have been great initiatives right here in Hall County. We do have an excellent school system and fantastic teachers here in Hall County schools and Gainesville City schools, but there is still a great need for our students. We're really happy to see that since the pandemic, that scores are starting to increase and hold steady, as we see from the Georgia Milestones article here. And a big part of the success of that is implementing tutoring programs. So there are initiatives both nationally and statewide here in Georgia that really recognize the success of programs of one-on-one tutoring. And so this is exactly what we're doing at Gainesville Reads. We know that our students have been affected by the pandemic, and students who are already struggling, especially students who are new to the English language, it's been a big struggle for them. And so having a program like Gainesville Reads, where they have one-on-one attention, is essential to mitigating these challenges for the children. And we've seen that right here in Hall County, we're seeing strategies that really emphasize one-on-one time, reading and writing time. And this is exactly what we do at Gainesville Reads. When it comes down to it, Gainesville Reads is a fairly simple model. And I'll go into what a typical tutoring session looks like, but I also just want to tout other community resources here in Hall County. We are just one of many nonprofit organizations that are offering resources to parents and children right here in our community. I want to commend United Way, the Hall County Library System, Centerpoint, Get Georgia Reading. There are many others like the Alliance for Literacy here. And so we are one of many great organizations, and it really does take a village, so to speak. And I mentioned that our Taste of History fundraiser back in 2019 is the reason that we were able to secure funding, and a big part of that was receiving generous support from Sandra and Nathan Deal. So the former Governor Nathan Deal and the late Sandra Deal were our guests of honor, and for them to support this program and to encourage folks at our fundraiser to donate towards Gainesville Reads, that was an essential piece of securing the funding and giving us a really strong pathway for a small pilot program that then grew into serving over 60 students here in Hall County. Now, we are also extremely fortunate to have our wonderful program managers, Diana Mencia and Ruth Moreno. They have both been with Gainesville Reads from the very beginning, and it's a bittersweet thing because Diana is leaving Gainesville Reads. She is a high school history teacher, so I don't even know how she's gotten this far from being a public school teacher by day and then coming here to Gainesville Reads and giving everything to this program. She's going to be focused on her family next year, and we're so grateful for the work that Diana Mencia has done for Gainesville Reads. Ruth Moreno is going to be student teaching as she completes her education degree, and Ruth has been an amazing program manager, assistant program manager as well, really highly involved in developing curriculum for Gainesville Reads. And so we're sad to see both Diana and Ruth leave, but we're also very excited to bring on 2 new program managers in the coming in January. We've already had some really strong candidates apply, so if you are interested, we are still accepting applications for our program managers. You can go to our website and learn more about that. But we're so thankful for Diana and Ruth and all of the time and dedication and love that they have shown these children and our tutors and parents in the program. Now, speaking of tutors, this program could not be possible without our volunteer tutors. And so if you're interested in becoming a tutor at Gainesville Reads, you do not have to have a teaching background. When it comes down to it, all you have to have is a passion for helping a child, a local child in your community. We provide all of the curriculum for you. It's a very fun environment, very interactive, engaging activities. And so it's a great opportunity for you to serve as a volunteer, as a mentor, to make a real difference in a local child's life. And it's just 1 hour a week, just 1 hour a week. So you can learn even more and apply to become a tutor on our website as well when you look for Gainesville Reads. Now, since 2019, we have served over 60 students. We've had 25 tutors through that time, and 17 have tutored over a year. So you can really see that once you start tutoring here, it really is one of the best parts of your week, coming to Gainesville Reads and meeting that child, because you're meeting with the same child every week. So you really get to develop a special relationship with them, earn their trust, and support them through their literacy skills, and really be a mentor to them. And with every student, we have seen progress, and that has been just one of the wonderful rewards of Gainesville Reads, is seeing the difference that you can make in that child. And so what does a tutoring session look like? Well, for our on-site program, that is one-on-one tutoring sessions with the same child that's going to be in 1st through 5th grade. So we currently accept elementary school students from Hall County Schools and Gainesville City Schools here. And it's 1 hour a week on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. And we really encourage interactive activities, and we have a lot of resources available. Whenever you come to a session, you will have your entire lesson ready to go for you, easy to understand. You are simply supporting that child in these engaging activities that help build their literacy skills and their confidence. So, a typical tutoring session, you are going to spend time checking in with your student. We really encourage conversation at the beginning of every session so that you get to know your student, see how their week is going, and really build that bond with them. They also get a healthy snack. We know they're coming from after school, so we want to make sure that they're nice and energized and have that opportunity to get a healthy snack. And of course, we're going to have reading as a big component of this. We have a nice little library of lots of fun books. We rotate throughout the books, so if you're interested in donating new books to us, please reach out. We would love to have some new books in. We always appreciate that. We also have an excellent computer program that really gamifies literacy skills and shows us very specific data on where that specific student is struggling. So Lexia, you're going to guide the student through a game that teaches literacy skills through puzzles and stories that you get to read together and answer questions about. And we also have skill building activities. So these are really fun. And this is a wide range of activities because we're going to see what does your student really engage most with. I mean, sometimes we have these little discoveries, for instance, of we have activities where we get to have Velcro pieces, for instance, so that sort of fun tactile kind of activity, or ones that involve drawing out stories to aid in reading comprehension. We have dry erase boards, for instance. We have a lot of different resources and worksheets that are really fun and engaging in their imagination and their creativity, their own perspective, and critical thinking skills. And then at the end, we get the reward of playing a game. Uno is very popular here at Gainesville Reads, and we also, when the weather's nice, we go outside the White Path cabin, play some tag. It's a lot of fun, and it's also a great opportunity for the kids to meet other kids and to just have fun together at our program. Now, we also have a virtual group tutoring program, and this was sort of a silver lining from the pandemic when we did go virtual. From January to March of 2020 was our pilot program with just about 15 students and tutors. And of course in March we had to go virtual, but we continued keeping a connection with our kiddos and ended up continuing a virtual program. And actually one of our, Matt House is in the YouTube chat right now saying tutoring is so much fun. Matt is my husband, and he has been tutoring our virtual group for the last 2 years or so, and it is so fun to see Matt when he's in these tutoring sessions, reading stories, talking about the stories, answering questions about them, getting the opinions and having the kids analyze the stories, and it is just such a joy to have these kids join online and see so much great success. And speaking of success, the way that we are measuring our success of the students, we do accept our progress reports and report cards, of course, from schools, but we also get quite a lot of great data from that Lexia program that I mentioned. We receive a lot of parent feedback and teacher feedback as well. And another great tool that we have are our tutor journals. As a volunteer tutor at Gainesville Reads, at the end of every session, you're going to write a journal entry of your observations of the student during that time, any challenges they had, any successes that you notice, what they're doing well with, what they need more support in. And so we can really see a very detailed progress of that student. Now, in the new year, we're really excited because we're going to be gathering even more data so that we can, especially so we can approach more grant funding. And we're very happy to have a new advisory team of 5 educators who also are tutors with specializations in literacy methodology, special education, and middle school as well, so we can prepare our graduate students who are graduating from the program going into middle school. And so if you are unable to consistently tutor, but you have a background in literacy education, then there's a place for you on our advisory team. And those meet quarterly, so it's less of a commitment, but it's also a great way to share your expertise with us. And so I'd like to share some of the tutor that they have, and they get to go to Gainesville Reads. And it was funny, Diana shared a funny story with me the other day where we had one of our students telling us that we needed to recruit 3 more tutors so that his 3 friends could also come to Gainesville Reads and have a tutor too, which is just wonderful because, again, this is an environment where it's all about engaging with their curiosity, building their confidence, showing them that they can overcome those challenges, especially when they have the support of a tutor and a mentor at their side. And again, becoming a tutor all you need is the time and the passion to help a child in this community. While we're very fortunate to have retired educators, literacy specialists, our tutors are a diverse group of folks from the community, ranging from even high school juniors and seniors, college students going and all the way up to retired folks and people from all different backgrounds and walks of life. So we really hope that you'll consider that 1 hour a week makes such a big difference in the lives of these kids. So I'd like to share with you some remarks from our tutors, and so you can really hear from them what this program means to them and what it means to the families too.
I'm involved with a couple of other volunteer activities, but I have wanted for a while now to get involved with children, especially in reading programs, because I had heard about them. And in fact, I have a neighbor who is a volunteer here at Gainesville Reads, and he spoke so highly of it that I thought, well, gosh, I'm going to go up there and check it out. And so I did, and there were several things about this program that I really liked. First of all, is you don't have to have any teaching background, which I don't. And then secondly, the organization here at Gainesville Reads. I just thought it was very impressive. And all of the tools that you all have to help with the teaching, all of this just seemed just very, very attractive to me. And I thought, boy, I want to give this a shot.
Well, when you work with a child one-on-one, it benefits that child to be more self-confident and carry it to other areas that she has experiences with. I've seen that change in my student already.
So I have had the opportunity to see quite a bit of progress, and probably the most satisfying to me is that he's not so hard on himself.
He would always say, "Can you read it to me? Can you read it to me?" because he didn't want to read. But now he will say, "I want to read it now." He's getting more motivated each time that he comes and sees me.
Her fluency is much improved, and I'm really pleased. And also it's just like, it's the highlight of my Friday.
When kids are in school, they don't get a whole lot one instruction. If he didn't have a person sitting next to him, he might just fly over the word and just keep on going and not really care. But when there's somebody sitting next to him, he's much more confident in trying to figure out what that word is and moving forward.
I mean, these could be your future astronauts, your future teachers, and they may be small, but they really do have a lot to offer. And like I've said before, if they overcome this challenge, they can absolutely overcome anything else that comes in their future, because I think it's something they'll look back and be like, wow, if I overcame this, if I had the support, if I had the resources, I can definitely do that in the future as well.
Gainesville as a community will benefit from this program, because when we have children in our school system that have a chance to succeed, they will benefit the whole community. So this is not just about the school, this is about the future.
So those were some of our tutors, and you can tell that this program just means so much to them. They mean so much to us because, again, we could not have Gainesville Reads and offer that kind of support without our volunteer tutors. And again, it's just 1 hour a week that makes such a big difference. And if you have an hour a week on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., it's right here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. We serve students that are in 1st through 5th grade, so you'll be working with a child in that age range, and they will be a local child that is in need of extra support in their literacy skills. And so I'd like to also share an interview from Diana Mancia, our program manager, and she was a really special person to be a part of this program because she can definitely relate to the experience of children who are learning the English language. And right here in Hall County, we have a large Spanish-speaking population. And so having this resource for parents and for those students is really vital and needed here. And so we're so thankful to have program managers who can understand that experience, our native Spanish speakers as well. And so I'd love for you to hear from Diana about her experience here and what she's noticed, especially because she's also a teacher in the Hall County school system.
All right, so my name is Diana Mancilla, and I am actually a teacher at Gainesville High School right now. And I've been with the Gainesville Reads program since the beginning, since we started and launched the program. Like you said, I was the student who came here older, so I had a language barrier, and I thought at the moment that was the need of a community to put more focus on a program that it will help students like me that navigates between two languages to make it easier or to break that wall with literature, right? It's one thing that you can speak both languages, but if you actually can speak them and read them and comprehend them, it helps you in school in another great level that it wasn't there. I mean, our program is really reaching to every single aspect, the need of an education that we have. And we have seen that growing, like especially this year, like we have been having the longest waiting list for our program because the need is there. I mean, students were not 100% on full year's education in the past 2 years, so it's a greater need than what we had or what the original idea of Gainesville Reads was for. A parent came to me. We did have a severe weather impact at the History Center that day, and we
Sorry, folks. I think we're having a little audio issue. Let me make sure that you can that everything's set to go, because I'd really love for you to hear what Diana has to say. So let me make sure that everything's good to go for that, my friends. It was okay? Okay. All right, we're going to go back to Diana's interview. Just wanted to make sure everything was clear for y'all. My apologies. All right, let's go back to Diana's interview. All right, here we go.
All right, so my name is Diana Mancilla, and I am actually a teacher at Gainesville High School right now. And I've been with the Gainesville Reads program since the beginning, since we started and launched the program. Like you said, I was the student who came here older, so I had a language barrier, and I thought at the moment that was the need of a community to put more focus on a program that it will help students like me that navigates between two languages to make it easier or to break that wall with literature, right? It's one thing that you can speak both languages, but if you actually can speak them and read them and comprehend them, it helps you in school in another great level that it wasn't there. I mean, our program is really reaching to every single aspect, the need of an education right now that we have. And we have seen that growing, like especially this year, like we have been having the longest waiting list for our program because the need is there. I mean, students were not 100% on full year's education in the past 2 years, so it's a greater need than what we had or what the original idea of Gainesville Reads was for. A parent came to me. We did have a severe weather impact at the History Center that day, and we closed for the day, and then we actually had technicians and people here working where we couldn't have hosted Gainesville Reads that day. Then the next week, a parent came to me and told me that her daughter wanted to come to Gainesville Reads, and she couldn't, like she was very upset because she keeps telling the mom that, but she wanted to come. So that is exactly, I think, our goal, or the goal of the program. Not only personally of mine, but I think this is a place where students come here and they are seeing literature in a different way. They're receiving skills. They are helping them to become more successful at school and with their reading and whatever struggles they have. But more than anything, they come here and they see the tutor like with the person that cares for them, and they can build a strong bond, and they're looking forward every week. I can remember one of our graduate students, like his mom came to me and was crying and was so happy that when he started the program with us, he was completely under level in reading skills. And let's take in consideration that was in COVID. Then COVID hits, and we went virtual, and then we continued with the program. But then when our student graduated, her biggest message was like he was graduating with an 8th grade level reader, and he was a 5th grader. When the parents come to me, and I love to be able to say hello to my mom that speaks only English, and to be able to say hola to the mom that speaks Spanish, to be able to communicate and tell the parent, it's okay, this is what we are working on, and that for that parent to understand what I'm saying and exactly what their child is going through within their education, and what are the tools or skills that we can implement for that specific struggle, and for them to be able to be clear, because once they understand what it is, they get involved too. It's a huge difference than to give them a letter that they don't understand, than to provide them a calendar or agenda that we create in English and Spanish. I think it just creates a team that surrounds that kid to be more confident and to be more open. Like, he's understood by the tutoring program, he's understood by the school system, and then he goes home and his mom understands where he or she are at and what do they need to do, and it's okay. So as a parent, I couldn't be more blessed to be part of this program, not only for him, because as a teacher, my heart is also with other children. I feel completely grateful and blessed to be in this position where my son is part of the program. But more than anything, I mean, when he graduates, I'm gonna still be here, or I hope I'm still here, and I'm still able to help all of the other children, because it's not just about him. It's about the need that we have in the community right now, and it's happening right now. So we need all the help that we can get right now. All right, so my name is Diana.
All right, I'm so glad that y'all got to hear from Diana, and again, she has been so instrumental. So has Ruth Moreno, our assistant program manager, who has been so instrumental with the curriculum. So again, it's a bittersweet time. We're saying goodbye to our program managers, Diana and Ruth, but they're still, of course, going to stay connected with Gainesville Reads, and we do have openings. Right now, we are, this is probably the last week that we are going to be accepting applications for program managers for Gainesville Reads. So if you want more details on that, do check out our website. It's www.negahc.org/jobs. And you'll see that the description for those positions. And it's going to be a great year for Gainesville Reads. We had a great deal of support this year as well through an anonymous donation. That was a $20,000 donation to Gainesville Reads, and that really meant so much to us. Gave us a great runway for the next year, but we can always, of course, use more support, and that can take the form of a few different ways. Of course, being a volunteer tutor, just 1 hour a week on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. right here at the Northeast Georgia History Center. It makes such a big difference, not only in that child's life, but I can guarantee it's going to make a difference in your own life, a very positive impact. And so many of our tutors, it's just the highlight of their week is spending that hour with that local child and knowing how much of a difference that 1 hour can make, of that one-on-one attention and time and support. So I'm really looking forward to a great year at Gainesville Reads, and I want to share some photos of what tutoring looks like. And of course, we can see some of our wonderful students here with the different kinds of activities that we have. There's a lot of flexibility with where the tutoring session can take place. We have so many great facilities here at the Northeast Georgia History Center, like being able to read outside, go to the Ada Mae Ivester Education Center, and of course with a great deal of books that we have that we're constantly rotating, getting new books in. You are we would greatly appreciate new books so that we can offer our more well-loved books so that students can take those home. That's how we rotate them out. So we do always offer students a free book. We have a free book cart at the end of every single session. They can take home a book. And so getting new books in especially books that are going to be representative of the student and our population here, and just wonderful stories to share. There are lots of fun activities, so many great ways to learn here at Gainesville Reads from the resources that we have, especially the resources that Ruth here, that you can see, has developed. We have tutors from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all different ages, and so it really does not depend on having any kind of degree in education. If you can read and if you have a passion to help a local child, then you are a great candidate for a tutor. Again, we tutor on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays throughout the academic year from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. It's just a wonderful program. And I'd love to share another clip from a tutor that can speak to the really special experience that a tutor can have with a child when they discover so many new interests and fascinations. And it's, as we are the Northeast Georgia History Center, it's a great way to engage a child in critical thinking skills with history as well. So we're going to hear from one of our tutors, Gail, and about her student and the experience that she's had as a tutor.
Hi, my name is Gail Nelson. We moved to Gainesville a year ago, and I wanted to do something to give back to the community. And I looked at several tutoring sites, and it was clear when I came to this museum that this was the best, meaning it was really well organized, and students have their own computer. It's an hour, and the atmosphere here is wonderful. I mean, it's really spacious and positive, and kids feel comfortable here. So do tutors. Manuel's a 5th grader. His family's from Mexico. He has a sister and a brother and a wonderful mother who's very supportive. So she brings him and picks him up. And when I first met Manuel, we were kind of talking about what he wanted to read. And I wanted to find a book so that we had some consistency in the reading that we were doing. And he said he liked books about American history and that were about families. So the book we selected is an I Survived book, The Children's Blizzard, 1888. And of course, it's American history, and it's about a family. The way reading works for new readers is once you have to do some pre-reading activities. This was a pre-reading activity I did. I said, what do you see here? And he said, I see a broken down carriage, I see a boy that's freezing, and a blizzard. And then I asked him questions like, how do you think he feels? What do you think the story is going to be about? Anyway, those kinds of things. And they create prediction and then comprehension eventually. And so by predicting, then they kind of know what's going to come. And so all the vocabulary isn't a surprise to them. And also sorry about my hair. They also keep reusing vocabulary throughout the book. So I'll say what happened, and he'll demonstrate comprehension by, telling me. And if he can't remember something that he thinks is important, he'll say, what was his sister's name again? And I'll tell him. So it's really very interactive. And I'm not expecting him to remember everything. I'm putting no pressure on him. I'm certainly not judging him. In fact, I'm totally awed by him. Here's an example of their house. Their house is a sod house, like up here. And so we talk quite a bit about how you make a sod house, because it looks like bricks on the surface, but it's not. And then how everyone slept, by the stove in the kitchen. And he was fascinated by this. But then we could go out back here and look at this wonderful log cabin. And he was like so surprised. He said, it's the same. And he noticed things in that log cabin, and anyway, things from here, and he really is into families. He really would say like where people would sleep and what they would do. And so that was great for providing context, and of course that's also part of history. Often people think that tutoring and teaching is about what I'm doing now, talking. It's not. And in developing a relationship with a student, part of It is getting to know that student, providing support for that student, listening to him, what's important to him, and then to say something more about the History Center, and that is the incredible support from the staff. About the third week we were reading this, Ruth came over and she's brought all these materials. And I mean, it was wonderful because Manuel and I were just working in our own little world here. And he was excited, and I think it externally validated that we were doing something and we weren't just, this wasn't just us and a kind of unknown book or something. Anyway, so it was important to him. The high point of my week, every week, is tutoring Manuel, because he just comes in, he's excited. I'm actually excited about moving forward in the book. He's excited about moving forward in the book. He has definite opinions on the characters. So that's a joy. Hi, my name.
Oh, I love hearing from Gail and the story of her and Manuel. He's such a joy to work with. Every single student at Gainesville Reads is just such a ball of energy, but so much curiosity, so much fun. They just bring such positivity to your day. And I know that if there's ever a time when I'm working here at the History Center and Gainesville Reads is going on, that if I walk out there, if I was in a bad mood, it won't last long. Those kids are just amazing, and just like Gail said, I mean, I'm in awe of them as well. We're so proud of them, and one of the things that is really gratifying for the Gainesville Reads team is that we also see the difference that it makes in the parent's life as well. To have a resource like this that is totally free is pretty unique in our community. And so to have one-on-one tutoring provided by the generous donations of our private funders, those who have donated in the past, our recent $20,000 anonymous donation, that makes such a huge difference, not only in the lives of the students, the lives of the tutors and the parents and the teachers as well. Teachers are going to benefit, our school systems are going to benefit by having programs like Gainesville Reads, so that teachers, they're under a lot of pressure. That's a tough job, and they are doing incredible work in those classrooms. But for students who need that extra support and that extra one-on-one time, that can often be quite a stretch for a teacher to offer. And so to have a free tutoring organization like Gainesville Reads here at the Northeast Georgia History Center, it's really such a joy. And it's still one of those kind of things where it's like, pinch me, did this actually happen so easily? And I say easily because it has been so remarkable to have such great support from our volunteer tutors, to have attracted such incredible candidates and program managers, and the children themselves. They just continue to show so much curiosity, so much passion, and so much more confidence in themselves. And it's something that, it's one of the things that means the most to me about my work here, even though now I'm fairly hands off. I felt like I planted the seed, and then Diana and Ruth and the tutors and those students are really the ones who allowed that program to grow into the success that it is. And I want to thank all of our donors who originally donated to Gainesville Reads in 2019 during our Taste of History fundraiser. Thanking the Deal family as well. That really made all the difference in the world. And so if you would like to become a volunteer tutor, please go to our website. It's just our website /Gainesville Reads. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. And we are seeking tutors. We do have openings, particularly on Thursdays and Fridays right now, from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. we do have a wait list of students that are waiting for tutors. So tell your friends, tell your family, and we're especially interested in having more high school juniors and seniors and college students join us, especially since it's such a great way to prepare yourself if you're interested in working in education. And it's really just a great way to give back to the community. Again, 1 hour a week makes such a huge difference. Now, I want to remind everyone that, of course, this is our telethon, and we do have some awesome benefits and raffle prizes, and we have a really great membership deal going on right now. And I think we've actually received some comments from our calls. Oh, we've received a $100 donation from Merlene Dubé. Thank you so much, Merlene. That's very generous, and that is going to go towards our living history interpretation, our educational programs. That is going to be wonderful. Thank you so much, Merlene. We also, as the staff have been making calls to our members to thank them for being a member, we've also asked if there's any messages that our members want to share with our audience today. And so we have, let's see, Cassandra says, I just love your homeschool programs. I think I love the programs maybe even more than my kids. That's great. Well, you know, I see the adults also having a lot of fun at our homeschool days. Our most recent one, we had our Civil War homeschool day, and I had a blast doing the tintype style souvenir photos. So the kids got to dress up in 1860s garb, stand in front of a nice backdrop, and have a souvenir photo that's a tintype style photo, so black and white. Have a nice little gold edge to it, printed out as well. So that was really fun, and I know that the parents enjoyed that a lot too. We also have a member, Jennifer, who joined to participate in homeschool events, and she loves them, and they've added to her curriculum and allowed more opportunities to socialize. So that's a great point, Jennifer. You know, a lot of the activities that we have at our homeschool days, and really any special event that you're going to attend at the History Center, there's often going to be great opportunities for group activities like our historic dance classes, our dance lessons with Atlanta Historic Dance and Kat Nagar, and just ways to engage in history with other kids, to listen in to the living history interpreters and ask questions together, participate in a historic craft like making your own corn husk doll, or even recently during our War of 1812 program, we had students help us sew the Star-Spangled Banner. So they were learning the basics of hand stitching while also learning about the original Star-Spangled Banner and Mary Pickersgill and her assistants and all of the effort that it took to create the gigantic Star-Spangled Banner, for instance. So thank you so much, Jennifer and Cassandra, for sharing those really nice comments. We also have Jessica, who is another homeschool family. Homeschool families have been such a great addition to our community here as we've seen them grow. And it's really exciting to offer a great resource to homeschool families for history education. Jennifer says that our programs have been really great as an economical way to learn. Thank you to everyone for what you do. Thank you so much, Jessica. And yes, our family memberships are an excellent deal, especially for larger families or families that are really wanting to get those educational experiences and experience those together and really make memories while learning. And so our homeschool days, our homestead days, our annual historic fashion show, our Chautauqua Living History series, our Valentine's Day teas. These are all great ways to learn together as a family, make memories that are going to last a lifetime, and to incite the curiosity of your children to learn even more about not only the history they're learning in school, but their local history as well. So thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing that. Now is an excellent time to lock in a great deal on our memberships. We are increasing our memberships in 2024, beginning January. So now is a great time to lock in an excellent deal. We're running a deal for our telethon, so you can go to the link above or the link below to get that awesome deal. You can also enter our raffle for a family membership, and family memberships and individual memberships come with a lot of great benefits. Of course, that gets you free admission to the museum on a regular day. And it's also going to get you free or discounted admission to our special events. Free admission to homeschool days, discounted admission to our special events like our Valentine's Day teas and our historic fashion shows, for instance. And for folks out there who have older students, our forum lecture series that happens every month throughout the academic year. Those are a great way to learn together as a family for your middle school and high school and adult learners as well. So you get free admission into forums as a member too. If you become a contributor level member, you get a really awesome benefit, which is the Southeastern Reciprocal Museum Membership Program. So by becoming a contributor level member with us at the History Center, you're going to automatically get reciprocal membership at over 60 museums as part of the Southeastern Museum Reciprocal Membership Program. And so check that out. All of our membership information is available on our website, but if you want to get that really good deal, then go ahead and go to the link above. That's www.negahc.org/telethon. Now, we're going to conclude this segment with one last interview from a parent from one of our Gainesville Reads kids. And we're going to hear about the experience of our virtual group tutoring. We've talked a lot about our one-on-one tutoring, but now we're going to hear from a parent with a child who has really succeeded in the program through our virtual programming. But stick around because just after this interview, we're going to have a fun game show, a trivia show that we had a lot of fun with last year. If you're familiar with the game show Password, then we are going to have a fun twist on that called Pastword, where everything's going to be history related, and we're going to see who on the team can figure out the clues the fastest. So stick around for that. We're going to get set up for that, so we'll listen to this next interview, get set up for Pastword, and thank you so much to everyone who has donated today, who shared their comments. I'll be calling our members for a little bit through the evening and getting your feedback. So I hope that if you would like to share any feedback with us, any comments about your experience as a member, any memorable moments through our events throughout this past year, and any ideas that you have or feedback that you want us to consider as we look to 2024, please know that we're always an email, a call, a Facebook message, and Instagram DM away. So thank you all for joining us for our 4th annual telethon. And we're going to hear from that parent. We're going to get set up for passwords, and we'll be right back. So here is another parent testimonial from for one of our virtual students. So here we go.
This kindergarten teacher actually noticed it. And, you know, it was just kind of one of those, we just need to give him a little extra help. She was really great as far as giving us a ton of extra work to do at home and some suggestions to make, and had told us, you know, she could see it, but it was something that we could work on, and we caught it early. And so we were going down that path into 1st grade, and then of course COVID, which really didn't help the situation. We actually hired the help of our sitter who at the time was a senior at UNG going to school to get a teaching degree. And she was going into elementary education. So we knew at least we could get some help and some guidance. But really it was the second 9 weeks of his 2nd grade year when we knew there was a problem and we needed help. And the school is great, but they're with their resources, and we honestly didn't know what we were going to do. It was a pretty scary situation. I have a group of friends. Our kids have grown up together, and we call them therapy sessions, and they more so started during COVID. But, you know, I was telling him, I'm like, y'all, my kid is struggling, and, you know, he's on the older age spectrum as far as his age for his class. He's a big kid. And so all I was thinking was, oh my gosh, he's going to be held back and it's just going to make things worse. We had told him, hey, because my friend had told us about Gainesville Reads, and we said, we're going to try out this new special class. And you could tell he was, for an outgoing kid, he was really timid about just being in a class, not knowing anybody. And then obviously a little PTSD from the whole Zoom experience was cool. Once he got through that first class, that was a lot of fun, because, you know, you had your share time, and then just going through the creative process with building the story. It only took one class and he was hooked. So now he looks forward to every Tuesday night. And talking to his teacher this year, it has been interesting, because he's doing much better, but I don't know, it's something about that little group and that 1 hour that just, he's focused and it's fun. These past few weeks, the whole Lexia Champions, and how excited he's been, because he's like, I did that many minutes, and they're out on holiday break right now. And he sent me a picture of, I did 45 minutes on Lexia. The Lexia is fundamental in making the program successful. That, and then the 1 hour a week is so helpful in driving home the lessons that he's learning, but it's so interactive and it's fun, and it's, you know, kind of like a game. And then, you know, of course you throw in the every Tuesday you're going to be graded, but it's not you're taking a quiz, you're going to be graded. It's a fun thing for them. My husband, he kept saying, there's no way this is free. There's no way. And we kind of felt a little guilty about joining a program that didn't cost anything, because it feels like, well, I don't want to take up a space for somebody that that is in need. And that's the big thing with this program, is it is there and it doesn't cost anything. And so it's there for these kids that need it, that otherwise would be failing right now. And y'all have done a phenomenal job for this community in the short time that we've been able to use your services. And I hope that it sustains, and we will do what we can to help you all sustain this program for Gainesville for the future. This kindergarten teacher actually noticed it.
and welcome to Password. We are going to have a real fun time with our trivia game tonight, and we have a very special guests. Why don't we introduce everyone? We have Dash Acker, one of our former interns. Hello, Dash. Of course, you know Marie, you know Greg, and we also have a special guest, Karen, here, who is Greg's wife. So we'll see if you make an excellent team with the history trivia. So now, of course, if you are familiar with the old game show Password, that's essentially what we're doing. We're just history-fying it. And so we are going to need to explain a few of the rules. One is that there is going to be a word on the screen. Now, our contestants, they will not know the clue. That is the aim of the game, is that our contestants have to give one-word clues in order to see if the guesser can guess the correct answer. So there are no proper nouns, and they have to be one word. They're going to have categories, so they at least know the general category, but if they're going to have 20 seconds to try and get the answer, and we're going to compete to see who can get the most answers. If they don't get it, then it will go to the next team to get the points. Now, Leslie is behind the screens. She's going to be facilitating things to keep track of our points and everything. I'm going to go behind the screen to show you, the audience, our clues for Password. And Guada will also be helping out by handing out the password. So, without further ado, contestants, do we kind of know the rules at this point? We got, all right, excellent. Yeah, it's good enough, right? Okay, I'm going to take the screen away from our contestants, go behind the screens, and we'll get started. So, without further ado, all right, so Leslie, what is our very first category?
Our first category to start it easy is Christmas.
Oh, all right, so our very first category, we are going to have Christmas as a category. Now, I have on screen, or I'm going to place on screen here, our clues for this category. So, I see, Guada, do you want to go ahead and hand out?
That's the lightning round.
Oh, oops, let me go. Let's see here. All right, here we go, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So do you want to go
All right,
first? Do you want
here
me
we
to
go.
go first?
That one.
Okay, I'm going to now place the very first clue. Our contestants cannot see this. Thank you, Guada. All right, so who has the clue? Raise your hand. All right, so we got Karen and Marie. Now, who should go first, Leslie? I'll let you decide.
Let's go with our amazing Marie and Dash team.
All right, Marie and Dash are going to have 20 seconds. And remember, Marie, you are going to give one-word clues to Dash to try and get this answer, and the category is Christmas.
And I can only guess once during our 20 seconds? Okay, cool.
Okay, and can someone review what a proper noun is? I know it's a name.
Person, place, or thing.
That's a noun, but proper
That's a
noun. But a proper noun is like the name of a thing.
Yeah.
But it's the name of things and places as well?
Locations, states, countries, those are proper.
All right, do you have confusion about the clue that you have in your hand, Marie?
I'm just trying to figure out what to say.
Oh, yes.
So what I'm allowed to say.
Stalling.
You guys can just
That too.
pass, and we'll
Hey,
just
why don't
go
we do an example for?
I think I got it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We'll
I
try.
think it's the specific clue that she's having trouble with.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Do your best with this.
Start
one.
us easy.
Yeah, we'll try.
Easy to Leslie. All right, so, and we also have someone in the chat, Carolyn's asking, can I post clues? Yeah, you can chat whatever you want. The contestants cannot see the chat or the answer on the screen right now. So let's give it a go. We're going to do our first round with Marie giving the clue, one word clues to Dash. All right, are we ready, Leslie?
I'm sorry. I thought it was an easy one. Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
Well, as I will be.
Once you say the first word, I'll start the time.
Okay. Wait, so I have time to think.
Before you say it, and then the timer starts for her to answer.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Okay, this is the one that I'm, oh wait.
You got this.
Okay. Maybe I do. I just don't know how you're going to get this specifically. Tree.
All right, we got tree.
Ornaments? Okay. We'll build.
Yeah.
Royalty.
King Herod.
No. All right, back to Marie.
Victorian.
Ah.
Angel?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking topper.
Wenceslas.
I hadn't even said
Yeah, I'm just going off king.
Sun.
Okay, no, still not that. Let's go back to Marie.
No, she's the one giving the.
Oh,
But he
sorry
already
about
said
that.
a word.
He already guessed
Okay.
before I even said anything.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say Wenceslas?
You're
Alright,
supposed
Marie.
to wait till I say something.
Well, your clue was wrong. I had the right answer.
So remember all the other words that were said.
Yes.
Okay. Husband.
Okay. Sun. With Christmas? Henry?
Okay, let's go back to Karen.
I'm sorry.
So easy. Isn't
I'm
it?
sorry.
And all these clues all tie into
Indoors.
Indoors.
it's a Christmas tree.
No. Go back to Marie.
That's a place.
We do have a suggestion, a clue from Carolyn.
I think we should all get one.
in the chat. Okay,
Yeah.
this could prove to be our trial round. Carolyn's clue, and how about this? We'll see if either Dash or Greg can get it quickest. She says, can. Can.
I was thinking about that.
That is a good one. I don't know if well, he should know that.
Can of whoop ass.
No, that's not Christmas.
That's not Christmas.
That's not the Christmas spirit.
No, it's not.
With all the other words, it
Can.
I don't know.
Can.
You can tell you're a northerner. Can.
All right, Leslie.
All right,
said this
I'm
would
gonna
be
give
easy.
it.
How many
You're gonna
times?
give the
Wait,
clue.
do I
Well,
have?
we have one more
I have one
each
more.
if you want to try.
Do you want? Have you given
Yeah.
up on this
No,
trial
I'm
run?
not giving up.
Oh.
We're gonna.
Okay,
I think we got one more.
Okay, all right.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so remember all the other clues. Okay.
Can.
I don't understand that one.
Okay.
But remember all the other clues that I gave you.
Okay.
And I always want to say okay, maybe this will help. Remember all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Museum.
Museum. All right.
Good job, Marie.
Thank you.
That is a good
That's a
one.
Thank
good one.
you.
Okay, because that was Victorian.
Okay, it's time.
Oh, dang, okay.
All right.
sorry.
You got
So
it.
one more.
I gave a good clue.
Give me a good
No,
clue.
you got a good clue.
I got one in.
give me a good guess. Instituted?
Instituted.
Instituted King. King David.
No. All right.
Nope.
Leslie, what was it?
Prince Albert.
Prince
Nobody
Albert.
said king. You said king.
Yeah.
Okay, now Carolyn in the chat says.
That's why you said
Oh, you
son.
said royalty. That's right.
Yeah.
And the husband, Victorian. Okay.
Oh.
Carolyn in the chat says, I don't actually know what this has to do with Christmas. So Leslie, or I'm sure Marie could
Marie
also
definitely
clue
knows.
us in.
Yeah.
Marie, what does Prince Albert have to do with Christmas? This
Yes.
very
Prince Albert in a
easy,
can.
simple.
Obviously. So Prince Albert gets credited with kind of the invention of the Christmas tree, even though the royal family had been doing them since forever, because a lot of most of the English royal family for most of the late 18th century all the way into the 19th century is of German descent. Queen Charlotte, who married into the royal family, who also has that new TV show thanks to Bridgerton, is actually the first one to have a Christmas tree. So a Christmas tree had been in the royal family's palaces since, again, Queen Charlotte's reign, mid to late 18th century. But Prince Albert, he's also German, from Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Ooh,
yes,
that's fun.
so fun. And he and Victoria, there is a picture of them with their children around this Christmas tree that ends up on a magazine cover, which ends up all the way around the world, even to the United States. And that's in about the 1850s, because it kind of, takes a while for it to spread in that time period. So mid-1850s ends up in England, later 1850s ends up in America, and then everyone was like, oh my gosh, did you see this Christmas tree? Did you see this magazine cover? We need one, and that's why we have Christmas trees.
Nice. So thanks, Prince Albert and Queen Victoria. Now,
I think because I'm a Victorian historian, I was like, everyone's gonna know that.
Yeah.
If you knew that story, great hints.
Yeah, thank you.
I actually think the next few clues in the Christmas category will be much easier.
Much easier.
But I don't trust
But before we do, we want to thank Dash's Auntie Laura. Auntie Laura just called in and donated $150 toward children's costumes. Thank you so much, Auntie Laura. All right, we're ready for our next easy Christmas clue. Here it is on the screen for our viewers at home.
All right.
And you got it?
Don't show me.
All right, who's starting this time?
All right, Marie Steve went first, and
All right.
now it's Greg's team.
All right, Greg.
Stuffer.
Toy.
Ooh, all right, we got Stuffer and Toy. All right, let's go to Dash.
Fireplace.
Stocking.
Woo! You got it! All right, let's
It was my
score.
second guess.
That's what easy means.
I was thinking the toy. Being
No, that's
the
what goes
stuffer.
in.
Yeah,
that's the
no,
stuffer.
it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a
Instead
point
of
for
the stuffy.
Marie's.
They
Marie
have
and
9
Dash.
points.
All right,
9
Marie,
points!
9 points, awesome. Okay, are we ready for our next clue?
We are.
All right, viewers on the screen, you can now see the clue on the screen.
Give me a good clue.
Yeah.
Am I putting the, I'm
Hold on. Who goes first? Is it?
Marie
They
Steve.
Oh, winners take it. Okay.
No, because we're
just
just
back
going
and
in
forth.
turns.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Winners can go.
Wow.
Playground rules.
Yeah.
We're learning who Greg is today.
Losers walk. That's the rule. Winners get the ball.
Yeah.
Marie, would you like to go?
Sure.
All right, go for
All
it,
right.
Marie.
Circle.
Ornament?
Ooh, okay.
Evergreen.
Wreath.
Yeah!
Okay, sorry.
All right, Greg and Karen, you get 9
It's
points.
9
is that
to
right?
9.
9
Yep.
to 9. Uh-oh. All right, next we have. All right, coming on the screen. There we go, viewers.
That's on me. I knew as soon as I said it.
This is our last clue for Christmas, and then it's the lightning round.
All right,
So
got it.
winner gets to play lightning round up with this one.
All right.
Okay.
Who's going?
You.
Oh.
Remember you won.
Okay.
That was good.
He's old. He doesn't remember rules anymore.
Yeah, right.
Evergreen.
Oh.
Christmas tree.
It's gotta be 1.
No, it can be 2. I mean, I feel like that counts.
Oh, that counts?
Right.
All right.
Wouldn't you guys count that?
Well, that's what she said last time. So.
Winner.
Winner! All right, we got
The
it with
answer was
Christmas
just
tree.
tree.
It was just tree.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so for a lightning round, my friends, that's going to be Greg and Karen. So this
who
is
wants
the...
to be giving and who wants to receive?
I'll give.
All right,
Okay,
so
so
Greg's going to give the clue.
Because nobody knows more about Christmas than Karen.
I'm gonna hold it up to you.
All right.
Can we count 60 seconds for me?
All right, you get...
60 seconds for 4 clues.
All right, the clues are on
You
the
pass.
screen.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so when... Yeah, Carolyn said count that. You got it, Carolyn. All right, so this is our lightning round.
Go.
Pass. Nose.
Rudolph.
Nice.
Roasting.
Chestnuts.
Pass. Handmade. Oh.
That's one word, right?
It's a compound word. We can
Yeah.
There's probably a dash in there.
I don't know.
Pass. Sound.
Jingle bells?
Yeah! All right.
5 seconds.
Custom.
Presents?
No.
Time.
All right, you got 3 though.
Ah.
That's great. Good job.
Ornament.
Oh.
Ornament.
What was the first clue you gave?
Custom.
No.
Or custom.
Handmade.
Handmade.
That was
Yeah.
it.
So you got 15
Okay.
points out of 20. Yay.
Plus our other 19, right?
Yeah.
So they might as well just give up.
Oh my word.
It's ours.
All right, so the next category
We get
is
T-shirts if we win.
Yeah.
We'll have T-shirts made.
the next category is around Gainesville.
Okay, the next category is
dear.
around Gainesville.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You can start it over if you'd like.
Thank you.
All right, Guada, let me confirm that you got the clue. Is that the right one? Okay, so I'm going to put the clue on the screen for our viewers at home. All right, so we'll start off with, is that correct? Okay, so we'll start off with Marie. All right.
So remember, around Gainesville. Bach. Chickens.
Boom! Nice. Done. Easy.
Okay, thank you for the
That's what
around
winning
Gainesville.
looks
She
like.
made it over.
No, I get it. That I don't know.
I was trying to make the clues easier.
All right. No, I appreciate that. I need easy.
For our folks who aren't yet familiar with Gainesville.
All the clues are Victorian royalty. All their children.
Did you know that Prince Albert visited Gainesville?
All right, this is the next one, right? Okay, so viewers, we have the next clue, the next password.
Oh, they won that round.
But we're going back. We're just
All right. Well.
Next clue, yeah.
So we're not playing. Okay, street rules. All right. Houses.
Cigar box?
Yeah, just.
Yeah. All right, again, around Gainesville. All right, Marie, take it away.
I have that.
Oh, sorry, Dash, go
So
for it.
remember that. Color? Green Street. There you
Yay! Woo! Good job, Marie.
I was thinking of a type of a house.
Yeah, we would have gotten there.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, the next clue, the next password for around Gainesville is now on the screen.
Okay. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are we going
first? Didn't you just go? Didn't Dash go first?
Yeah.
No, she went second.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She was
okay.
that one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
That's right. So around Gainesville. Gainesville. College.
Bernal.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. All
It's
right,
weird
we've
you
got
remember
our
you
next
and G's.
moving around Gainesville.
Statue.
It's that revolutionary guy, isn't it? I know it's revolutionary soldier. I don't know.
Time.
All right,
We're
let's
gonna
go
get us
to
kicked out of this place.
Let's go to Marie.
I have absolutely no clue what this is.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, let's see if
I
Marie
think
can-
I can still get it. Just go ahead and say words.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna matter.
You can repeat what he said.
Statue?
Old Joe.
Yeah, Marie got it, and Old Joe is not an American Revolution soldier. Now, apparently, he is originally a monument from the Spanish-American War, since there was a surplus of monuments, but then he was reconfigured to be a Confederate monument. And I believe it was built in the early 1900s. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it is still downtown today and survived the 1936 tornado.
I had heard it before purely because it survived the tornado.
Civil War.
Lightning round, who's giving and who's receiving?
All right.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You look so scared.
All the time, always. And this is the second easiest round.
Yeah,
All right, for our lightning
have fun
round.
with
You're
this one.
looking at them?
Yes.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
Do you have a 60 seconds?
All right, Wada's got.
I was right.
on
It
the
was the soldiers.
Yeah, you.
Here are the
You had
clues
it.
for our
I
lightning
just didn't
round
know
on the
his name.
screen.
Okay.
Parkway.
Jesse Jewell.
Woo! Nice.
Pass. Oh gosh. Pass. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
That's okay.
Elizabeth?
You can pass.
Pass. I'm still not knowing that one either.
Should have switched it.
Yeah. Are you just holding them all up?
E. Butler.
No.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
10 seconds. Might as well just chat. How's your day?
Anyway, I'm not from Gainesville originally. I'm from Gwinnett County.
Yeah. All right, so we had.
What were they?
We had Alta Vista, which is a historic cemetery here, and Lyman Hall, for whom Hall County is named after. And we had Queen, because Gainesville is known as the Queen City of the Mountains. Now, Caroline in the chat
Lyman
said
Hall I
that
should have
these
gotten.
clues
I
were
should have
also
gone
very
county.
hard, so
Oh, sorry.
I thought
we're
that
just
was
not
short.
as expert as
You got Jesse Jewell so fast.
No, you did a great job.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so what's our
Jesse
next
Jewell's
category?
so
Civil War.
Ooh, the
Okay.
Civil War. Okay. So our next category is the
Whoever you
Civil
wanna give to.
War.
I can't remember.
I want to confirm that this is the right clue. Okay, and the password is now on the screen.
Who goes first?
You can go first.
All right, Karen going first.
Unrifle?
Musket.
Nice! That's a good one. Nice, we got musket. Excellent, excellent. All right, next on the screen.
Thank you. I have been crumbling for an hour.
Is this right, Wada? The right one? Yep. Okay, and we have the clue on the board.
President. Civil War.
All right,
Is
yeah.
it
That's
category?
good.
That wasn't another hint. That was Civil War. That's a category.
Now.
I was still thinking Gainesville, so I was very
Oh,
a little
yeah,
confused.
right.
Okay, Abraham Lincoln.
Woo!
There you go.
Yes, the category is Civil War. Okay, you got that, so I think we've got the next one here.
Thank you.
All right, the clue is on the board.
Oh, okay. Pennsylvania?
That's a proper noun.
Oh,
Ah,
it is.
uh-oh.
It is.
Okay, does that go to...
That goes to them.
All right, goes to Marie.
You know that's the rule from the original show.
Gotta say something that's only an hour.
Yes, it's just hard to get ones that aren't proper nouns.
Oh, I see, I see.
Bloodiest.
Bloodiest.
Gettysburg.
Woo! That was great. Good clue. All right, they got it. Gettysburg. Bloodiest. Nice.
Antietam was the bloodiest.
Nope. Bloodiest
Well-
day in American history.
See, that's the
Bloodiest
track
battle.
Thank you.
But you had already
I
said
can't
Pennsylvania.
believe you got shown up by
Oh,
something.
yeah.
That is awesome.
All right, go for it, Greg.
Never thought I'd see that happen.
Warhorse.
That's a good one, yeah.
She ain't gonna get it.
Yeah.
Come on, you can pull it. It's Christmas Miracle. You got it.
It was a white horse?
Time.
All right, let's go to Dash.
So the category is Civil War. I'm saying it before I give my word, so I don't be accused of cheating. Gainesville.
Time.
Wait.
All right,
Oh,
let's take
okay.
it. We're gonna go back to Greg.
I thought I had a time limit on my
No,
side.
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
I think of that clue. Jeez. I'm gonna get cafe.
Not a clue.
Okay, passing back to Dash.
Hotel.
Traveler.
Not Traveler. All right. Let's go back to Greg.
Oh, jeez. Number 2.
That's 2 words. You can only say one word.
Let's go back to Dash. We got Civil War,
Still don't know.
Gainesville, Cafe.
Road.
Longstreet.
Woo!
Yes!
Yes, you got it. That could be a little tough. Yeah. Excellent.
Like the adjacent words.
Yeah. I
and
finally
for
got it
anyone,
about the second one.
For any viewers
Yeah, I was
at
like,
home,
anything I say, she's just pick
So-
up on it.
James Longstreet was known as the old war horse. He was a Confederate general who made his way after the war to Gainesville, and he ran the Piedmont Hotel. And he was interesting because he was more of a farmer than most Confederates after the war. He ended up being a civil rights activist, in fact. And so you can learn even more about him. In our exhibits, we have some great programs on him, and you can also check out the Longstreet Society as well.
And the Longstreet Cafe.
And the Longstreet Cafe, which is delicious.
Alright, who's receiving for Civil War lightning?
Alright, Civil War
you
lightning
give this
round.
time.
Oh, for lightning round?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You're just gonna have to tell me, because I have to go over here.
All right, so for
That's
some
not gonna
more
give you
lightning
enough
round, we've got it
On
on
the
the
lightning
screen.
round. I want to make sure.
And
'cause they're
lightning round, I
sticking
can
together.
say more than one word for hints, right? Or she can guess more than once
Yes.
for lightning round.
Oh, okay.
So I can still only give one word.
Yeah.
But you
And we
can
can
guess
rotate through.
multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I might do it like this,
So you
because
can just
they're sticking together.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
ready. Rations.
Hardtack?
Woo!
Espionage.
Spy?
Whoa, yeah.
North.
South? Oh, I thought we were going that easy, sorry.
Am I allowed to say another one?
Yeah,
Billy.
keep going.
Oh, Sherman.
No.
Pass.
Dang.
Do you want to pass? Go to the next
Pass.
one.
Capital.
DC?
Other one.
Virginia?
City.
10 seconds. Do you want to try the other one?
You want to go back to the
Yeah,
other one?
yeah.
Okay. Camp.
David? That's not.
No.
Sorry. Alright.
All right, how many do we got?
Okay, Yankee. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You
five
knew-
star.
so you-
Okay.
Sorry, I could not get
you- yeah.
Richmond.
But you knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what is our?
I was thinking like Billy Yang.
Yeah, okay. Our final category is that very hard one.
Oh, great. So we have an even harder category for our final round.
Okay. I would like to explain to everyone is that one of the people that was supposed to be here today is an expert on it, so I thought it would be helpful and nice to them that they're not here. So it's going to be very interesting.
Okay, the category is the War of the Roses. So that's going to be fun.
I'm sorry.
Chewbacca.
Okay, so is this our correct first clue?
Okay.
Okay, we have our first clue, our password for War of the Roses. I believe we're starting with, are we starting with Karen?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Third.
Edward.
Okay, let's go to Marie.
Together.
No. 10 seconds. The Tudors?
Yes!
How did that happen?
Yeah, what?
How did you do
I
that?
was all ready to.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
How did you do that?
That's weird.
Okay, you know when there's like the tip of the tongue film on it?
Yeah.
I heard the tuss sound and then blacked out when we started talking.
Oh, by the way, we have Richard in the chat saying, "Hey guys, just thought I'd drop in and say hi." Richard played our game last year and is one of our awesome living history interpreters. So glad to have you here.
The price is wrong.
Oh, he played The Price is Wrong. Yes, which would be happy
No,
to
it's fun.
later. All right, so our next clue, our next password is on the screen for our category of War of the Roses.
Country.
England?
Woo!
Yay! I was trying to make some.
All right.
I get in trouble if I do too much, and I get in trouble if I do enough. Nothing is good enough.
We all love you. We love you.
Thank you.
All right, our next clue is on the screen.
Karen, it's your turn whenever you're ready.
Country.
Wait, the word is the clue is country?
Mm-hmm.
House?
All right, now let's go to Marie.
Supportive.
France?
Nice!
Yes.
Very good.
how is France supportive?
They helped give money and weapons and all kinds of stuff to England. during the war.
Yeah, to stir it all up.
Yeah.
So that's the theme.
All right, our next clue is on, our next password's on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Ruler.
Henry.
All right, let's go to Greg.
Queen.
Elizabeth.
All right, we're gonna go back to
Husband.
Oh.
It's just, I bet it's like so simple.
Edward.
All right, now let's go back to Greg.
Crown.
King.
Woo!
Oh,
got
too
it.
big.
Oh.
Very good. All right, so who gets the lightning round?
So then I try to the husband of the
Alright.
No, it's not difficult.
All right, so
You know.
Marie and Dash, you have the War of the Roses
Who wants
lightning
to
round.
give and who
Let
wants to
me
receive?
give.
Okay.
Okay.
I might end up doing word sounds like.
All right, I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and throw the lightning round clues. All right, there we go. Ready.
New.
Monarch. Tudor. Lancaster.
Shire.
Worcestershire.
You can pass.
Okay, pass. Color.
White. Red.
Red.
Woo!
Third.
Henry.
There you go. Chair.
Throne.
Nice.
Okay, we're back to that first word, okay? Okay, can I repeat what I've already said? I've said new, I've said Shire, Duke,
10 seconds.
Lancashire? No.
It's okay, we did the other three.
We did the other three.
I didn't know where to
I would say
York?
peppermint.
Oh, Yorkshire.
See, because I tried to get New York, Yorkshire,
No.
Duke of York.
New
That
is going to be
Peppermint's
a proper
hilarious.
noun.
New. Oh, like new.
Oh, we should have said something.
That's
It
okay.
can, new is
We didn't get
an
it.
adjective too.
That's true.
But in this case,
Well, not really.
No.
So we
I
have.
don't care. We lost.
Oh, winning team. I think that comes to Dash and Marie.
Whoa, that's insane.
How does it feel, Greg? That was a fun game.
It was fun.
Yay! Awesome. So, my friends, congratulations, Marie and Dash, Karen and Greg. Maybe next year. Actually, let me get you line ears on the screen.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, what were the scores?
No.
yeah.
No, absolutely
Out of
not.
how many possible points is the funny part?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Marie and Dash got 109 points.
Woo!
Whoa.
Out
We
of.
got 29.
Greg and Karen got 51.
You know what?
There you go.
More like 50 fun. All right. Y'all, this has been a lot of fun today. Thank you everyone who joined us for our 4th annual telethon, and to all of our wonderful members that we got to talk to and chat with today. I'll be calling some of y'all right away just to thank you for being a member, get your feedback. As we look into as we look forward to 2024, our 20th anniversary, we're really excited about next year, and your support means the world to us. So this is a great opportunity to encourage your friends to learn more about the Northeast Georgia History Center, to become members, and we look forward to a really awesome 20th anniversary year in 2024. Thank you to everyone who donated today. In particular, thank you to the Walker family for donating. Yes, claps all around. And to everyone who donated to support our educational programs. We're really excited again for a new year, and please reach out anytime. Get involved as a volunteer, as an interpreter, and reach out if you want to know how you can become part of our really awesome community here. But thank you for joining us for another telethon this year. Stay tuned, because we're going to end this stream and then start a new stream from 7 to 11. We're going to have some reruns of programs from the past few years, and I think those will be very much enjoyed by you. We're going to have our Barbie program that Marie did this past year. We're also going to have our fashion show. If you missed that earlier, we're going to have our fashion show going. Oh, and another really awesome documentary that Guada and Leslie collaborated on is about the history of witches, and absolutely fascinating. Did an amazing job. So we're going to have that on as well. So tune back in. We're going to get settled here and then restart the stream for our reruns. And again, thank you so much for joining us here for our 4th annual telethon. Bye, everyone.